But time now to hand you over to the National Stadium. Dunfermline and Falkirk going head-to-head for a place in next month's Scottish Cup final with Willie Miller, Ian McCall and Al Lamont.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Welcome to Hampden Park for the first of the two Scottish Cup semi-finals, and it's a mouth-watering clash between two bitter rivals for a place back here on the 23rd of May against either St Mirren or Celtic. The sun is trying its very best to peek through some thick clouds here in the south side of Glasgow. The rain has abated, the wind has calmed somewhat, so the conditions are decent there for the two sets of players. Dunfermline fans off to our left, Falkirk supporters to our right, about 10 or 11,000 of both, and so the atmosphere is good, and shortly the action will be underway. Both sets of fans displaying some impressive tifos just ahead of the game as well. They are right up for this, and you can be sure the players will be as well. Falkirk look like they're going to kick us off here. They will go from right to left as we look at it from high up in the south stand here at Hampden, the top tier, which is otherwise vacant of supporters, at least just media in this top tier. But a good crowd has turned out for this opening semi-final of the weekend, and it will indeed be Falkirk who will kick us off here in the shape of Finn Yates, who was on the score sheet in the quarter-final against Dundee United. Got the crucial second goal as John Beaton, the referee, prepares to get us underway, and indeed we are. And it's hoisted down the left-hand side, and Calvin Miller trying to get that fast start, but he just couldn't bring the ball under control there on that left flank for Falkirk, and it's out for a throw-in instead to Dunfermline, which will be taken by their captain this afternoon, Jeremiah Chilikoa Mullen, just still 21 years old, but wearing that armband, and such an important player. Any time I've seen Dunfermline this season, he has been an excellent form, likes to drive forward in that right centre-back role, right of a three, with Abdullah in the centre and Ngwenya to the left of it. So a clash of different formations here. It'll be interesting to see who can get the upper hand in the early stages as Leon McCann prepares to take a throw-in on the halfway line, left-hand side. John McGlynn out at the edge of his technical area, the vast technical areas here at Hampden. It breaks there for Ngwenya. Up towards the halfway line. Flicked on by Yates, but Ngwenya again only as far as Spencer. Spencer heads it forward. That's Charlie Gilmore getting onto it here. And now it's picked up by Andy Todd, who's bundled to the ground. Gets the ball back to Ngwenya, who in turn plays it back to Aston Oxborough, the Dunfermline keeper, who launches it long, looking for Morrison, who you would imagine will be determined to try and get one over on the club he served so well for 5 seasons. He had a brilliant year the season they won League One, top scorer in the SPFL that year with 23 goals, and I think he left under a little bit of a cloud the following season. It didn't seem to quite work out when they moved up to the Championship, had a year with Linfield, but now back at Dunfermline and looking to try and help them get into the Scottish Cup final as Kane helps it on for Morrison. Morrison's into the penalty area. He's got a chance here. He swept it wide of goal. What an opening that was for the very man I was talking about, how he would have loved to stick that one past Scott Bain, but he got it all wrong from 12 yards out, having got goal side. Big chance early on for Dunfermline, passed up by Callum Morrison.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to score. I mean, he took a decent couple of touches. It sat up perfectly for him. I mean, it'll be worrying for John McGlynn how easy it was. It was just a header through the middle. And Morrison, listen, he's got to score. He's got to put Dunfermline 1-0 up.
Yeah, huge, isn't it? I mean, pivotal moment, actually. Talking before the game about how that fast start was so important. First goal so important. That would have just settled everything down. And his first 2 touches were brilliant, because you're thinking, if they're not, then he's not going to get the opportunity to score. But they were absolutely spot on. He's taken it with the instep, and he's dragged it across the face of the goal by the post. So huge disappointing effort from Morrison, and one that could have settled Dunfermline down.
It really could have. You will look back at that and wonder how on earth he's missed the target. Such a good position, but has been a good start from Dunfermline. They'll take certainly some hope from that. That's a poor challenge there by Chilicoa Mullen, who had found himself well up the park, chasing the ball down, but he's caught the Falkirk player who was trying to clear that. Was it Henderson who was just knocking the ball forward? He gets away with a ticking off there from the referee, but Henderson's still down. Chilicoa Mullen possibly fortunate that that was so early in the game.
That's an old trait. Get your tackles in early, get your rough, kind of uncontrolled tackle. I thought it was. It was nowhere near the ball. I didn't think he'd done much damage, to be perfectly honest, but it'd be wise not to have too many tackles like that in the game, I would suggest.
Scott Bain then to take the free kick just outside his penalty area, flicked on by Barney Stewart. Falls though for Robbie Fraser, who just thumps it forward. Morrison trying to latch onto it, but Connor Allen there well ahead of him at the edge of his own penalty area. Falkirk, that's going to be another free kick to Falkirk. Certainly Dunfermline not hanging about with the challenges. It was Robbie Fraser on that occasion bringing down Dylan Tate, but Falkirk looking just a little bit flustered with this start that Dunfermline have made, but we'll be thankful that they don't find themselves a goal down already, having been caught by a ball over the top, and Callum Morrison really should have buried it. Now Falkirk come forward. That's a rather aimless one there from Lisa all the way through to Oxborough. 0-0 then after 4.5 minutes at the National Stadium.
They've got plenty of firepower up there, Dunfermline, haven't they? That looked maybe like a bit of an elbow.
Yeah, Chris Kane catching there. Again, it's Henderson who's got the brunt of it.
I thought it was a clash of heads. Was it?
No,
was
I think it was definitely an arm.
Oh, right.
Definitely the arm of Chris Kane, whether it's the elbow or the forearm.
I mean, you've got to use your arms to jump, obviously, but that one looked as though it maybe was just a little bit high. The elbow was a little bit high from Chris Kane. We're seeing a bit of a replay.
It's a bit of a swing of the arm there, Willie.
There's no doubt about it. He's pretty fortunate. John Beaton pretty lenient in the early
VAR
stages
are here, and well, players restarted. Didn't hear anything in my ear there from VAR as if they were particularly looking at that.
Well, Henderson now's been outstanding for Falkirk this year, but I didn't expect him to be targeted in the first 5 minutes with a bad tackle and an elbow.
Dunfermline have certainly started this game the faster of the two sides, as much as we were talking about Falkirk being renowned for that this season, and it's Dunfermline who've got a throw-in high up the park, really trying to unsettle Falkirk in these early stages with a couple of stern challenges, shall we say, but they've got the ball here with a throw-in 10 yards from the corner flag into Morrison from Matty Todd. A few boos from the home fans, and then the cheers as McCann dispossesses him, but a good challenge there from Ahmad, and then it breaks the way of Yates, who just sweeps it forward. Falkirk haven't really got into their rhythm at all as yet, Ian.
No, they have not. The one thing Dunfermline are doing, I think that they look at the lack of pace that they've got in the Falkirk backline. There's 3 or 4 times, I mean, the great chance came from it. They've just knocked it beyond. They've just knocked it. There's another one. They're just trying to turn the Falkirk backline.
Henderson wins that one above Morrison. It breaks for Tate, but he's well challenged by Gilmore, who now picks up possession, and then knocked forward by Todd onto the other Todd, Andy, who's in the starting lineup. Kneed back to Scott Bain by Liam Henderson. What we got? 6, almost 7 on the clock, and it's still Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0. These sides met in the 2009 semi-final. That was the reference Neil Lennon made to 17 years ago, the last time they were here, and Falkirk ended up winning that one, losing the final to Rangers on that occasion. We've lost a final since then to Inverness Cali Thistle back in 2015. Desperate to get there once again, as Neil Lennon makes a dash back to his technical area for something. But he'll be pretty pleased by the way Sider started the game. He'll be even more pleased if Callum Morrison will be able to tuck away his chance that he had after just 2 minutes, as Scott Bain angles the ball out to the right hand side, but it's another rather aimless one from the Falkirk keeper.
It's as if that early chance is unsettled Falkirk.
Yeah, feels that way. Something's unsettled them, certainly. They've not really begun the game at all, as Ngwenya has it midway inside his own half, up towards Kane. Well challenged though by Lisa. Kane working hard though. Ahmad now back into the midfield by Gilmore, and all the way back to Aston Oxford at the edge of his own box. He just plays it short for Abdullahi, playing as the central of the back three for Dunfermline here, closed down by Miller. As they go back to his left to Ngwenya. 8.5 minutes on the clock, no goals at the National Stadium, but Dunfermline looking like they have settled the faster of the two teams. Oxford has it once more. Stewart goes to close him down, and Oxford gets it over the halfway line. Henderson looked to be climbing over Kane on that occasion, but gets away with it. Dunfermline pick up once more. Chillicothe Miller, a lovely little turn on the halfway line, still driving forward, then just stumbles. Half challenge there made, forcing him to the ground, but Dunfermline pick up once more. It's Matty Todd into the box. Kane completely misses his kick at the edge of the box. That's another chance for Dunfermline as he arrived, and Todd picked him out really well, but Kane just took his eye off the ball, it seemed, and couldn't make connection with the ball, and Falkirk pick up. But at the moment it looks only a matter of time before Dunfermline open the scoring.
Well, they started extremely well, haven't they? And you know, Matty Todd for the right hand side, it's a great crossfield pass right across the face of the Falkirk goal, and you know, I think Chris Kane, I don't think he has to swipe at it.
Here's a chance over Falkirk. They've gone over the top in the channel. It's Barney Stewart. Back goes Abdullahi with him, forces him out wide. He's poked the ball back to Brosio, just at the angle of the box. He goes down, and John Beaton says no free kick, nothing at all wrong with that. And now they've got a free kick ball out the right hand side.
That's exactly the same. I mean, it was exactly the same, wasn't it? And he gave a free kick. There was literally a second between the first one and the second one.
Yeah, a little bit fortunate that the first one wasn't given, perhaps. Now it's out for a throw-in over on the far side. Falkirk looking to find their feet in this semi-final.
Yeah, just going back to the Chris Kane chance there, he just has to make contact with it, because the pace that ball's coming across the face of the goal, if he makes contact with it, that's then you know, catapulted towards the goal, and he takes a big swipe at it instead. It didn't show the composure that he needed to show.
It's spot on. It's a side foot finish. You just side foot it and try and guide it.
Falkirk have it midway inside their own half. It's Henderson. Was it short here to Tate? They're looking to try and get on the ball and dictate things, as he has done to great effect for most of the season. Good play from Brosio out to the right hand side for Lisa now on the halfway line. Back in field to Tate once more. Lisa picks up again and then steps away from one challenger. He's actually caught there by Andy Todd. It will be a Falkirk free kick.
Well, they'll know that they're in a game, that's for sure, Falkirk, because Dunfermline are up for it, and they don't mind a bit of physical jousting as well. There's been a number of tackles, challenges, free kicks, and John Beaton just seems to be oblivious to it. He hasn't really taken any measure, has he?
I think that's what Liam Henderson was speaking to him about. I'm almost certain about that.
Falkirk coming to take the free kick again here, just a few yards inside the Dunfermline half. John Beaton's not happy with something. I think Philip Lisa tying his laces, and John Beaton's waiting for him to do so until he gets the game going again. And I think Dunfermline fans are delighted about that. John Beaton's now going to cross to...
Is he able to show him how he ties laces?
Possibly, yeah. Certainly, he's standing over him.
That's something you can't hurry.
It's got to be done correctly, otherwise you'll be doing it all game. Brad Spencer, the Falkirk captain, waits to take this free kick. Eventually Lisa's managed to do up his boots, and we're back underway. We've played 12 minutes, 0-0, but Dunfermline on top in these opening exchanges as Miller plays it back here to Tate. Tate on the halfway line. He goes all the way back to Scott Bain, who's a good 15 yards outside his penalty area here. Scotland goalkeeper, hoping that he can get a place in the plane for the World Cup. Up towards Miller. Miller can't bring it under control. Ahmad picks up and goes back here to Matty Todd, closed down there, and out of play off Leon McCann. Throw into Dunfermline on this near side, about 15 yards or thereabouts from the corner flag as they defend their half. Chillicothe Mullen preparing to take this one for Dunfermline, who have beaten Queen of the South, Hibernia and Kelty and Aberdeen on their way to the semi-final. Another throw-in to Dunfermline here. A few yards gained down that right-hand side. Chillicothe Mullen again preparing to take this one. Dunfermline, of course, still well in the mix, almost certain to be in the playoffs, in fact, and hoping that they can end that period out of the top flight. Like Falkirk get back to the big time as Henderson picks up for Falkirk, just rolls it back to his goalkeeper just at the edge of the box, Scott Bain, to Connor Allen. Allen in at the expense of the injured Cole Donaldson, plays it forward to Tate now. It's another wayward pass. It's so unlike him and so unlike Falkirk because he couldn't find the feet of Yates, only a matter of yards away, and Dunfermline have it back. Fraser goes back to his keeper. It's not a great back pass, and Oxborough closed down there and just gets the clearance away before Barney Stewart arrives. Spencer helps it forward again. In steps Abdullahi out to the left hand side. Fraser now on the touchline, just knocked out a play by Perozio over on that far side. It'll be a Dunfermline throw in, 14 on the clock. No goals between Dunfermline and Falkirk.
Sometimes playing here, you know, the occasion can kind of overwhelm you. I'm not suggesting that it's overwhelming Falkirk, but I think it's having an effect on them. You know, they're not looking comfortable. I would suggest that the way Dunfermline are playing and not giving them too much time on the ball has got a big impact on that as well. But you would expect them to be a lot bit more controlled and, you know, a lot bit more in control of the game, and they simply haven't. And, you know, Scott Bain again, just an awful lot of aimless long balls forward, which is unusual. Don't see that happening on too many occasions when you're watching them.
The one thing I would say, Willie, is that they probably haven't had to deal with the pressure, if you like, of coming into a game as clear favourites all that often in the last 2 or 3 years. And maybe does that have some sort of psychological impact?
Of course it does, yeah. That and the fact that you're here at Hampden, the fact that you've got an opportunity to play in the Scottish Cup final as well. So I think when you put all that into the mix, it's got to be dealt with. And they might be able to deal with it. You know, it might just be a shaky start from them. But on the other hand, when you look at Dunfermline, they're up for it. You know, they're going for it. They look like the team that believes that they can take the tie. It's still a long way to go, obviously, but that's how it's looking at this moment in time with just 15 minutes gone.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden there is expectation almost on Falkirk, who have relished the role of underdogs for the past couple of seasons and exceeding expectations thus far. But well, pretty much everyone, certainly unanimously, you guys all backed Falkirk to come through ahead of the game, and I think that was probably most people's opinion, as Brozio's taken out of play, and then so too is Lisa, and there's going to be a yellow card here for Abdullahi, the first of the game, as Falkirk broke down the right. The first one could easily have been a free kick as well. John Beaton allowed play to continue with Lisa bursting down the right hand side, and Abdullahi was late to the party and took Lisa out of the game, and it's a free kick to Falkirk, and the first yellow card of the game goes the way of Nuruddin Abdullahi.
Yeah, first really bit of positive play from Falkirk, really good give and go. Lisa getting high, and listen, he's been taken out, really, let's be honest, but I think he'll be fine. He got up and continue. But yeah, I mean, that's the first time Falkirk have actually got into the attacking third through the way they, you know, through passing rather than just lumping it forward.
So Falkirk with the free kick, right hand side, just a few yards in from the touchline, and well, no more than 10, probably fewer than 10 away from the angle of the box on that right hand side. So it's a good position this for Calvin Miller or potentially Brad Spencer to whip one in. Can Falkirk make something here and get their noses in front in this semi-final, having been up against it? Here's Calvin Miller with the left foot, swings, it's a good ball, but it's over the top. It was Lisa who got to it in the end, and he was pretty much unmarked, 7 or 8 yards from goal, and will probably feel he should have been able to get over that and get it on target at the very least, but it's over the top instead. 17 in, Dunfermline nil, Falkirk nil.
I think it just got underneath it, Al. I mean, I think he's maybe just in a little bit earlier, and it was one that he had to get the power on because there wasn't enough pace in the ball, but it certainly put Dunfermline under serious pressure. He maybe should have done better.
I think so, although he was always stretching for it, wasn't he? And you know, one thing I hated back in my playing days was a goalkeeper that takes 2 steps forward and doesn't come for it, and that header's 6 yards. It's only 6 yards out. I thought, you know, that Oxford has got to take more responsibility.
Here come Dunfermline, right hand side. Andy Todd sends it to the back post, too much on it. Callum Morrison will scamper across to the left hand side to the sound of boos from the Falkirk fans, and he hasn't kept it in, and that's why the boos turn to cheers, and it will be a Falkirk throw. But Andy Todd got himself into a good position there, but he just overcooked the cross, and it comes to nothing for Dunfermline.
I think he's got to do better, Andy Todd there. I mean, it's a magnificent run in behind the Falkirk defence, and he's going towards the byline, and I think he's just tried to dink it into the middle, but he's overhit it towards it, way beyond the far post. He's got players there, he's got jerseys there to pick out. Even if he drives it across the face, I think it's a difficult one to defend, and it gives his strikers an opportunity to get in the end of it.
Chris Kane trying to fire it across to the right hand side to Matty Todd, but it's too close to the goalkeeper Scott Bain, who gathers at the edge of his area and then ponders whether to come out to the left hand side, then just drops it at his own feet, still wondering which way to go. In the end he clips out to the right hand side, looking for Brogio, who takes it down here. Actually it was Lisa who took it down, now he finds Brogio on that right hand side. It's good link up. Lisa once more at the edge of the area. Back comes Charlie Gilmore and is almost back towards his own goal, and Oxborough has to palm it away from goal. I'm not sure that was going to find the back of the net actually, but Oxborough couldn't take the chance, and it's a Falkirk corner.
Well, you're expecting Calvin Miller to be the one down this left hand side, but they're getting their joy on the right hand side. That's the second time Lisa's getting that. Looked as if it was maybe going to be deflected in. Oxborough had to touch it, I think.
He certainly felt he had to.
You can't take any chances there. You've got to, make sure. And if it, even if you're thinking it's going past as a goalkeeper, you've just got to, concede the corner and get on with it.
Dylan Tate from the right hand side plays his short corner into the feet of Calvin Miller. Miller swings it into the box. A good ball, is headed half clear. It comes to the edge of the box, and Spencer volleys off target. It's a good opportunity for Spencer, but he couldn't keep it down as Dunfermline struggled to cope with the inventive nature of the corner initially from Falkirk, but Spencer fires over, and it's still after 20 minutes. Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
I think that's half a chance, I really do, particularly for Brad Spencer. I think he was caught in between just waiting and taking out the half volley or stretching for the volley, and he chose the latter, and obviously got it all wrong.
Yeah, it definitely goes down as at least half a chance for Spencer. So Falkirk definitely beginning to come into the game after a slow start from them, and threatening in the last couple of minutes through Lisa and Spencer, but neither of them troubling Ashton Oxborough crucially, as Fraser's forced back the way towards his own goal. Then he turns and knocks it forward. Lisa returns it into Dunfermline territory. Miller on, but good covering there by Ngwenya, but getting there before Barney Stewart and nodding it back to Ashton Oxborough, the on loan Motherwell goalkeeper. 0-0 as we approach the midway point in this first period. It's been gripping, no goals but chances for sure, the best of them coming in the opening couple of minutes for Callum Morrison, the former Falkirk man, but the now Dunfermline forwards firing wide of target when he really should have scored, and the scoreline's still blank then as Falkirk have a throw in left hand side, midway inside their own half, long down that left hand side. Barney Stewart grappling away there with Abdullahi, and then Ngwenya comes across and gets it back to Oxborough, who goes first time, flicked on by Gilmore for Kane on the halfway line, right hand side, just knocks it back to Todd, intercepted by Dylan Tate, and knocks it out for a throw into the Pars, right on the halfway line there, right hand side. Neil Lennon right at the edge of his technical area, as is John McGlynn in the opposite one for Falkirk, trying to cheese players up as McCann latches onto a loose ball, plays it forward down the left hand side, and Abdullahi have to be careful here, chest it, and then tries to play it up the line. Barney Stewart's got a bit of a block on it. Finn Yates waits for it to drop. Chillico Mullen jumps in ahead of him, and then Abdullahi gets it half clear up towards Kane. McCann just tries to see that out for a throw-in, which he manages to do despite the barge in the back from Chris Kane. Halfway line then throw-in to Falkirk, back to Henderson, and then back to Scott Bain. No goals between these two rivals as Bain clips it out to Lisa. Lisa and Brogio have just been linking up to good effect in the last few minutes, and that's probably an avenue Falkirk will look to explore, although as Ian said, Calvin Miller down the left hand side trying to get himself involved as well, coming short here, looking to pick up the pass from Connor Allen, but instead he goes square to Henderson, who goes back to Bain at the edge of his box. Now it's Allen once more. Bain again at the edge of the area, takes a chance there, and he's splaffed his kick out, and then eventually Tate gets there, and Falkirk able to play on after probably should have been a free kick. Todd has stayed down, having closed down Bain really well there, and Dunfermline want the game stopped, and Todd, to be fair, does look like he's in a bit of pain. He was a doubt before the game, showed great appetite to go and close Bain down there, and he almost nicked it for his side, and that could have been catastrophic for Scott Bain and Falkirk, but eventually they managed to recover, and hopefully Andy Todd can do likewise as he's helped to his feet by the referee.
Yeah, just hoping to get a replay of it, but there's no doubt, you know, Scott Bain. Yeah, and you know, I think Andy Todd there was in really sharp, and he did catch. I thought he got a little touch on it, but
yeah,
you know, Baines went through him and he's managed to get the ball as well. So I think that's maybe what the referee was looking at. But you know, Scott Bain taking a bit of a chance, and Andy Todd putting him under real pressure, and unfortunate not to get something from it.
He's got lucky there, Scott Bain. Falkirk want to play out, but he was just a little bit lackadaisical there, Scott Bain, as the game will restart with a Falkirk drop ball. Andy Todd, I think, just having a word with John Beaton, saying it's a shout for a free kick on the edge of the box there, in which case Scott Bain might have been in real hot water, but that's not how John Beaton saw it, nor VAR, as Falkirk play it into the area. Calvin Miller will go and retrieve it as it's headed away from him by Matty Todd. Look, a couple of step overs, gets to the byline, Todd stays with him and gets the block behind for the Falkirk corner on the left hand side this time. First time we've seen Calvin Miller try a couple of tricks and get involved, really, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect Calvin Miller to be really prominent, the form he's been on, particularly against Matty Todd, who's all his strengths, well, certainly as I see it, are in the forward areas and getting up and down the pitch. But listen, Matty Todd defended really well against him there.
Brilliant piece of defending.
Yep.
Calvin Miller then standing over the corner kick, looks like the outswinger with the left foot from the left hand side, and it comes towards the near post. It's away by Matty Todd again, out for a throw in this time to Falkirk, just in line with the 18-yard box more or less, and forward will come Leon McCann to take this one. McCann into the penalty area, Stewart being grappled with there, he gets the flick on, but then Nguyen clears up towards the halfway line. Lisa back forward, Tate with a little up and under here. Now Miller will try and latch onto it, left hand side, Chillicoa Mullen getting close to him, robs him of possession. Again, it's terrific play, I must say, as I mentioned earlier, every single time I see Chillicoa Mullen play, you know, he's got really good pedigree. He's been at some big clubs in his younger days, Leeds and Liverpool, but he looks a real class act at the back.
He does, you know, he's got a lot of attributes. He's got one particular attribute that modern day guys love, and he is lightning quick, and he's great at driving with the ball forward. Whether he'll do that if he moves on to bigger places, who knows? But yeah, I mean, he's got a big future, maybe a kind of semi-late developer, as it were.
Dunfermline gets a free kick in the middle of the park there for a challenge by Allen on Chris Kane, who slowly picks himself up just a few yards inside his own half as Dunfermline get the free kick. Still no goals, 26 and a half played.
Is that Lisa that came right over the
top? It was Lisa
of Kane. I mean, that deserves a word from the referee, surely. That's dangerous play, actually. He's taken Chris Kane out the game completely.
Yeah, it wasn't a great challenge, was it? It was Philip Lisa who'd come across from right back there. And Chris Kane got away with one earlier in the game, so he might feel that's him quits now, as Liam Henderson picks up midway inside his own half. To his left is Leon McCann. McCann goes back to Bain. Scoreless still at the National Stadium, but no shortage of action and chances as both sides try and get the better of each other here on the right hand side. It's Lisa going back to Allen. Allen playing at right centre back in place of Cole Donaldson. Just plays a short ball into Spencer. Spencer rolls it back to Scott Bain once more, who quickly plays it out to Henderson. Henderson, who's had another outstanding season, having made this step up from League One to Championship and then almost seamlessly to the top flight as well. And one of a number of Falkirk players who's been in conversations about Scotland squads. Probably just a step too far for him this season, but deserves to be in those conversations as Barney Stewart tries to pick up right hand side, but loses out to Abdullah. Spencer now for Tate up towards the edge of the Dunfermline penalty. Miller, then Tate clips it towards the back post. Yates will have to come to the edge of the area, rolls it back to McCann. McCann sends it's an inviting one. Header comes in from Stewart. He had a little nudge there on Ngwenya before he got the header in, but it was a tame header in the end. Couldn't get any power on it. Easily gathered by Oxborough, who immediately bowls it over the halfway line. Good recovery there though, as Falkirk pick up once more. Lisa frees himself with the clutches of Morrison and finds Yates out to the right hand side. It goes. Falkirk looking to find the opening goal here. Oh, almost came through for Calvin Miller at the back post. He just couldn't quite anticipate where it was going to land, as a couple of players missed it at the near post. And it's really end to end just at the moment. 28 and a half played, still goalless somehow.
Yeah, but you know, Falkirk are taking control of the game now. I mean, that run from the right hand side, I don't know what Oxborough is thinking coming out there. Misses it completely.
It's good play from Abdullah, good composed defending there, chesting it down from the McCann cross. Then he's closed down by Stewart, who had that chance a moment ago. He probably again should have done better once he actually freed himself of the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about him, I'm not sure he's technically that great, but he's an absolute magnet to the ball when it's in the box. You know, his movement there was really, really good away from the ball, and got his head. You can see why he scores a lot of what you would call easy goals.
Down the right hand side from Dunfermline, then returns. Gilmore gets his head to it, then Tate helps it forward down the left hand side. Abdullah again involved as Matty Todd plays it down the right hand side, but that's out of play for a Falkirk throw on the halfway line. Half an hour almost on the clock, still goalless, and neither side in the mood to lose the first goal here, because it could prove absolutely crucial, as Falkirk have this throw in to be taken by Leon McCann, another of the players who's come through from League One all the way up, now playing in the Scottish Cup semi-final with the hope of returning here next month for the showpiece at the end of the season, as Lisa steps away again from Carla Morrison, another class act in that Falkirk lineup on loan from Swansea. Interesting to see where he ends up next season, as Dylan Tate has it right hand side, clips it forward. Brosio not quite on the same page, but picked up by Lisa. That's a poor cross from him. He had time to pick out a teammate, and it's not going to actually run out of play. Matty Todd eventually just picks up possession and fires it forward, looking for Morrison to go and run towards it, but Henderson's there well in advance and gets it back to Scott Bain. Immediately out to Connor Allen here. Quarter of an hour remaining in this first period. No goals between Dunfermline and Falkirk, as Spencer takes over in the centre circle, out to the left hand side to McCann. McCann for Spencer once more infield, then down that left channel trying to pick out Miller. Doesn't quite get there first time, now it does. It's Miller from the left. Abdullah misses it, so does Ngwenya, but Barney Stewart couldn't get onto it, and Dunfermline able to clear their lines through Robbie Fraser. And Andy Todd claims that should be a Dunfermline throw, but the referee disagrees. Falkirk get the throw in, but that was another chance. A good ball in from Miller, but only Stewart in there for Falkirk, and he couldn't get the crucial touch, as Lisa just runs the ball out of play. And now Dunfermline will have a throw in. 31 and a half played, Dunfermline nil, Falkirk nil.
You would have thought that Stewart might have gotten the end of that, Ian, wouldn't you? I mean, it's a decent ball across the face from Calvin Miller, and it's along the ground as well, and it's difficult for defenders. You know, I think both Dunfermline defenders missed it, but just that instinct, you need that instinct just to get the touch on it, and that's all it needed, just a little touch.
Yeah, I think he thought Abdullah was going to clear it. His position was really, really good, but he just missed the ball.
Falkirk come again here. Abdullah gets his head to it. Spencer out to the left hand side, but Chilikoa Mullen just rather slices the ball forward, but it should come for Todd, who can't chest it down, and out for a throw into Falkirk on the halfway line. Leon McCann looking to take one quickly, as Falkirk looks to up the ante here. It's a good throw in for Miller. Miller now in a central area, coming out to the left hand side. The angle of the box here on that left flank, just rolls it back to Tate. Tate about 30 yards from goal, plays it infield for Lisa. Lisa advances, finds Tate once more at the edge of the box. Well challenged by Ngwenya. That was a crucial challenge before Tate could find room to get the shot off. And Falkirk pick up a game. You do feel they're beginning to turn the screw here, Ian?
Totally, they're just starting to dominate, certainly possession of the ball. You've seen Spencer and Tate have more touches in the last 5 minutes, and Calvin Miller than the first 25. They're starting to really get top without creating any chances of yet.
Certainly anything gilt-edged, have probably had a couple of near misses, but certainly beginning to dominate, whereas Dunfermline had the better of the opening quarter of an hour, but couldn't take advantage of that as McCann tries to play it forwards here for Brogio, who's switched across to the left-hand side for now, up against Chillicothe-Mullen here. On loan Villaman, he's made a really good impact as well. Now it's Miller out to McCann, left-hand side. Brogio's still available just in field. Here he is, clipping it in right-footed. It's over Stewart and tamely into the arms of Aston Oxborough, who hasn't really had a big save to make, nor has Scott Bain, to be fair. But that doesn't tell you the full story. There have certainly been chances at either end, but still with 33.5 on the clock, no goals.
I think he's looked a little bit nervous at Oxborough, to be perfectly honest, a little bit uncertain with these movements, and you know, these uncertain movements can put defenders off, but there's no doubt that at this moment in time Dunfermline are really struggling. You know, they've got the three front men, but I don't know what they're supposed to be doing, the three front men. They're not you know, playing a part offensively, and they're struggling a little bit defensively too, so it might need a little tweak from Neil Lennon.
Here's Miller on the left-hand side. Todd trying to stick with him. Miller gets the ball into the box, headed away by Abdullah. It'll be picked up by McCann. Quickly into Spencer, 35 yards from goal. Out to the right-hand side. Brogio's back out there now. Lisa's in support. Brogio thinks about trying to take Fraser on. Now he goes back to Lisa. Infield for Spencer. Little give and go. There's not a good ball from Spencer though. Fraser makes the interception. And now it's picked up by Andy Todd. Back to Fraser once more. It clears up towards the halfway line. Henderson first to it. Heads it forward once more. Gilmour gets his head to it. Now Kane picks up and rolls it back to Ahmad. Better from Dunfermline, but that's given away by Ahmad. And McCann will charge forward here. Plays it for Miller. Miller at the angle of the box, left-hand side. What's his delivery like here? Trying to get the better of Chillicothe-Mullen. Leaves him for dead, but Abdullah's in the way. Back with Miller now, left-hand side. Drives it back across goal, back the way. No Falkirk player there, and Andy Todd is first to it, but then Henderson keeps it moving. He's been caught late there by Kane. Falkirk still have it. Into the penalty area it comes. Stewart can't bring it under control. Again, Dunfermline get it away. Henderson's back on his feet, and he gets it back here from McCann. Henderson just tucks it back here to Connor Allen on the halfway line. It's pretty relentless at the moment from Falkirk as they come forward once more. Dylan Tate. Straight ball through is not a good one for Barney Stewart, and that's going to roll behind. And a bit of respite for Dunfermline. That's a yellow card being flashed belatedly to Chris Kane for his late challenge on Liam Henderson. And it's a second booking for Dunfermline player Abdullah, and now Kane in the book. But with 9 minutes left in this first period, still Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0. I
think what Willie said was accurate there. I thought in the early part of the game, the front three of Dunfermline, whatever they're playing, 2 up, 1 behind, I think they change. I thought they were pressing the ball really well. That's basically, you've just seen them with too many last-ditch challenges now, and a last-ditch challenge means you're not getting yourself in the right position at times.
Long goal kick forward, and there's a foul there on Kane. Dunfermline get a free kick midway inside the Falkirk half. An opportunity here then from a set piece to try and load the box and create something, and despite having been a little bit under the cosh in the last 20 minutes or thereabouts, Dunfermline have a chance here to try and get themselves in front, which could prove crucial. Matty Todd with this free kick. Dunfermline have thrown all three centre backs forward, and a couple of their more diminutive players hanging back the way, Ahmad and Fraser, as Matty Todd clips it into the penalty area. Abdullah trying to make a nuisance of himself, and Gwenya trying to get there as well, but Bain comes out to his right hand side of his box and gathers before there's any further danger, and it's still 0-0. 8 minutes left in this first period.
It's a little bit of a respite though, isn't it, winning that free kick and being able to test Falkirk a little bit, because from a footballing point of view now, Falkirk is taking total control. Yeah,
here's Miller left-hand side. Abdullah's come across to try and stop him, and he stops the cross. At least it will be a Falkirk corner though. And Falkirk will be really looking to try and take advantage of this pressure and get that opening goal before the interval. And it's vital that Dunfermline hold out and don't lose that goal before the break, you feel, and allow them to regroup at half-time. It's been a good first half, highly competitive. I don't think any of us, despite the consensus being that Falkirk would come out on top, I don't think anyone anticipated it being easy, and that's exactly the way it's been. It's been hard fought as Miller's corner kick's a poor one, headed away by Matty Todd. Picked up again though by Brosio, and now McCann left hand side. Short ball to Miller right in the touchline, midway inside the Dunfermline half. He's becoming more influential here, Calvin Miller, trying to spin away from Morrison, goes back the way to Spencer. Spencer on the halfway line, plays it square here for Connor Allen. Allen just brings it forward a few yards, then out to the right hand side to Lisa. Lisa just rolls it back once more to Allen, plays it into the feet of Dylan Tate, out to the right to Lisa once more, still midway inside the Dunfermline half, comes infield here, does the on loan Swansea fullback, clip forward by Brosio, but he can't get it through the Dunfermline back line. Andy Todd was just caught there, was he? No, referee had a good look at that. There's a poor touch in the midfield though by Yates, and that allows Matty Todd to pick up, tries to find Andy Todd, he then fouls Yates, or at least I thought he did, and then there's another strong challenge in there. Oh, it's a real Scottish Cup tie here, as both sides putting in firm challenges, the referee allowing the game to flow, and Dunfermline come out with possession here on the right hand side. It's Andy Todd, swings it in, it's not a bad ball, headed away by Spencer, chested down by Tate, and Yates helps it high up in the air. Gilmore trying to chest it down now, claims for a free kick, nothing given, but Dunfermline have it back anyway. It's Andy Todd right hand side, low ball in, Chris Kane didn't quite anticipate that, and it's all the way through to Scott Bain. Good passage of play there from Dunfermline, but still no goals with 5 to play.
It was, but it wasn't for the purist.
No, meaty. I would say meaty.
I mean, there was about 10 fouls in a row there. There might have been fouls and might not have been fouls. The ref just blanked them all. It was excellent.
Yeah, fair play to John Beaton, to be fair to him. As you say, a couple of them could have been blown up for either way, but just let them get on with it. And no one was any worse for that, as Dylan Tate just takes his eye off the ball, but then picks it back up from Henderson about 10 yards inside his own half. 40 minutes on the clock. Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0 in this Scottish Cup semi-final. Remember, St Mirren Celtic to come tomorrow. Dylan Tate asking the question as to why no one anticipated his ball forward, and then there's a really senseless nudge in the back there from Stewart on Chillicoe Mullen. I'll never understand why strikers, Chillicoe Mullen down almost at his own corner flag with his facing away from play, and Stewart nudges him in the back, just invites him to go to the ground, and Dunfermline get the free kick, pressure off.
It's just daft. I mean, there's no excuse for that, and you see it happening.
I think it might have been an offside anyway, Willie, as the free kick's been taken about 20 yards further up the field. But
did they know it was an offside?
No, I don't
they
think
didn't.
So.
And you know, you've got the defender pinned in. He's going back. He's running back to the corner flag, and he pushes him to the ground. It's quite incredible. And you know what is incredible also? None of his teammates actually say anything to him.
No, it's just a given. This happens all the time. Anyway, clipped forward by Oxford. I think it was offside, and Ahmad helps it on. Now it's Morrison who missed the best chance of the game after a couple of minutes. Fraser now out to the left-hand side to Andy Todd, looking to get the better here of Lisa. Goes back the way to Fraser. Todd once more on that left-hand side, up against Lisa, about 20 yards from goal. Tries to get it into the area, which he manages to do, but only to find Spencer, who in turn plays it to Tate. He angles it forward, looking for Barney Stewart to stretch his legs, but Abdullah has done likewise and got there first. Stewart slides in and prevents the ball going up the line at least, and it's out for a Dunfermline throw in with 3.5 minutes left
as
in
good
this first period. As
good a season as Barney Stewart's coming, he has not got the legs in any of the back three of Dunfermline.
No, and I don't think he's any slouch either.
No,
as you were saying earlier on, they're all rapid at the back for Dunfermline. It's such a great asset to have. As Chillicoe Mullen, the captain, takes the throw in down the right hand side. Ahmad hooks it on. There's Dylan Tate getting his head to it. Likewise, Ahmad once more. McCann nods it into Spencer, who just plays it hopefully down that left. But Abdullah again there first. This is going to be a goal to break the deadlock before the interval. 0-0 it stands at the moment, as Gilmore just gives a little nudge in there on Tate, and it'll be a free kick on the halfway line to Falkirk. Spencer plays that into the central area here for Brosio. Brosio forward for Yates, can't get there ahead of Abdullah though, who knocks it out of play over in the far side for a Falkirk throw, and quickly taken by Lisa. Back to Dylan Tate. Tate midway inside the Dunfermline half for Brosio. It's a terrible ball from Brosio, straight out of play, and Dunfermline will get the throw in over on their left hand side, midway inside their own half.
I mean, they've dominated the last 25 minutes, Falkirk, but you know, even last week, Al, in the first half, they never gave the ball away. They hardly gave the ball away once against Rangers. There's been about 4, 5, 6 times that the passes have been really poor. Just stops the momentum that they're building up.
Fraser for Dunfermline down that left hand side for Morrison to chase. Henderson's across there ahead of him. Knocks it back to Bain. Kane can't quite close that down quickly enough. Bain's clearance comes to Gilmore, and then there's a high boot there from Gilmore, and it will be a free kick to Falkirk. Was it Tate who was caught there as he got his head in a slightly dangerous area? Gilmore with a high boot penalised, and Falkirk take the free kick. Spencer arrows it out to this left hand side. It's a good ball for McCann. McCann now up at the edge of the penalty. It plays it back the way to Miller. Miller in field for Yates. Miller once more picks up from that angle of the box, left hand side. Still got McCann in support. Here he is, McCann in field to Dylan Tate. Tate looks for a ball in field, then plays it forward to McCann once more. He's away from Ahmad. Low ball in's dealt with Chillicothe Mullen. Tate keeps it alive but falls for Ahmad. Midway inside his own half, rolls it forward for Kane. Kane one round the corner for Morrison. It's a good ball. Right hand side, Callum Morrison now attacking Henderson. Into the final minute, the 45. Morrison's cross blocked by Henderson out for a throw-in on this right hand side. Maybe one last chance in the half for Dunfermline as they in the attacking area.
It would be against the run of play if they scored here, that's for sure, but there's been very few and far between after, I would say, 15 minutes, maybe even the first 10 minutes belong to Dunfermline, but thereafter, you know, Falkirk has really got a huge grasp in this game.
Chillicothe Mullen then with the throw in right hand side, gets it back from Morrison, tries to take on Miller, and he's not managed to do that, and he brings Miller to the ground. I think Miller's looking for a yellow card to be flashed at the defender there, but it's just a free kick as we enter a minute of added on time at the end of this goalless first period. And Scott Bain has it in his possession, plays it out to Allen, who goes further to the right hand side to Lisa. Lisa 10 yards inside his own half, back the way once more to Allen, who tries the big switch of play. He's not got that one right though. Matty Todd heads down, McCann intercepts. Dunfermline have got it back though. Morrison for Matty Todd. 30 seconds left to play. Can Todd produce something here? Good defending initially from McCann, but Todd's got it back. Ahmad to the back post. It's Andy Todd into the 6-yard box. Connor Allen's in the way, takes a touch and then volleys it to safety. And Gwenya will just let that bounce over the halfway line and then play it square to Abdullah here. Final few seconds then of the first period as Chillicothe Mullen gets it out to Matty Todd, forwards and off Tate, and it's going to be Callum Morrison. Last chance of the first half. It's behind Chris Kane and dealt with by Lisa, and there's a half-time whistle, bringing it into a first half that has been scoreless, but there have been chances, the best of which came after just a couple of minutes. The ball over the top found Callum Morrison in on goal against his former side, but he couldn't take it, and he'll walk off knowing that he could have put Dunfermline in a great position so early on, but he dragged the shot wide of Scott Bain's goal, didn't even force the keeper into a save. Dunfermline did have the better of that opening period. Matty Todd rolled one back to the edge of the box for Chris Kane, but he completely missed his kick. It was another good opportunity going a begging. Thereafter, Falkirk rather took control. Lisa had a header over the crossbar when he probably should have done better. Spencer likewise volleying over from a decent position at the edge of the box, and numerous half chances created as well by Falkirk, but neither keeper in truth have had to make a save of any great note, which is why at half time it's Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
Dunfermline Athletic versus Falkirk.
Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. The Scottish Cup lives here.
Yes, another busy day on sports, and a reminder after this game is done and dusted at the National Stadium. Our focus will switch to the Championship, a big game there affecting both ends of the table. Airdrie at home to Partick Thistle. That one kicks off at 3, full commentary to come, and from 5 o'clock join Stuart and Tam with Off the Ball, and there's women's international action for you this evening as well. That comes from 7:05. But we are focusing on the first of the Scottish Cup semi-finals. Tom English and Andy Halliday alongside me in the studio. No goals, Andy. It's actually been a cracking game, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been entertaining. A lot of pre-match chat about the fast starts that Falkirk have had this season, but I thought Dunfermline came out the gates flying. And it was that ex-Bairn, Callum Morrison, with a chance at the half. When you actually watch it back, I think Liam Henderson does really well. He does enough to just get that little arm on to put him under pressure. But I think Callum Morrison will be really disappointed that he's not at least made the goalie work. And I think that's the only thing the half really missed. I think Scott Bain and Ashton Oxford haven't really been tested in either goal, but plenty of action.
You enjoyed it, Tom?
I have, yeah. It's kind of intriguing. It's a real battle. There's not exactly a whole load of chances. I think Dunfermline have had just 2 touches of the ball in the Falkirk penalty area. And Morrison would have been one of those, if not both of those.
Yeah. What a story that would be.
Yeah, absolutely. What a chance. I'm watching it again here, and he's just
Liam Henderson does well.
Does very well, in fairness to him. So, but it's like I think even though Falkirk are dominating possession, I think Neil Lennon will be all right here. They're just 0-0. There isn't exactly a gulf between the teams.
No.
It's not like Falkirk are tearing them apart with their possession, with their passing. So Dunfermline very much in it. Job done for 45 minutes for the underdogs.
What have you made of it, Ian?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the guys covered it okay there. The huge...
Just okay?
Well, no. Andy Halliday was terrific.
I'll take okay from Mr. Grump at Hampden.
No, listen, the Callum Morrison thing, I mean, I get the fact the guys are saying that Big Henderson did well, but he's got to score. It's as simple as that. It's a great chance. I mean, one of the things I think for the second half, it has been even. It's been helter-skelter at times. There's not been enough stuff going on in the box. There's not been enough great deliveries in the box. As good a season as Calvin Miller's had, his crossing's been really, really poor. But I tell you that one thing for Falkirk against Dunfermline is, you know, the Dunfermline captain Chaloka Mullen is having to come and play almost right back, right centre back with Matty Todd pushed on. There's a huge big space, you know, down the left-hand channel for Dunfermline, just down the side of, for Falkirk, down the side of Abdullah. They haven't managed to capitalise on it yet, but Dunfermline started great. They were knocking the balls in behind. Kane was, I mean, the chance was, it was actually a long ball, a header on and a run through. I mean, it wasn't rocket science, but the good thing for Dunfermline is that they can get themselves out the pitch, because I said in commentary, Barney Stewart having a good season, but he's nowhere near get the legs on all 3 of the Dunfermline centre backs, so it would probably need a run from deeper. So I mean, it's an intriguing game, I think, as Tom said, but Falkirk haven't played like I've seen them play this season, and Dunfermline have done okay, but there's still more to come from them as well, I think.
Right, Ian, put your managerial hat on then.
Yes.
So take us into both dressing rooms. What would be the message from both managers? What would both managers be looking to potentially change?
Well, I think Neil Lennon will be perfectly happy. I mean, I think, you know, he wouldn't mention the chance. I mean, that's the big moment of the first half, and you know, if they Dunfermline going to get beat, then it'll be a nightmare for the boy, because he'll remember it. I think it's a great chance. We're right behind it. But to get in 0-0 against, you know, a team that's in a league above them, that's in the top 6, that's had so much praise, I think they'll be delighted. And to be honest, Falkirk haven't created any chances, so you know, Neil Lennon will be able to say, well, same again, except we need to be a bit more buoyant, a bit more positive, you know, when we get forward. Maybe the front 3 who started the game really, really well, you know, we need to do a wee bit more in terms of when we get possession of the ball to you. In terms of Falkirk, they just need to be more productive in the final third. I don't think any manager will be ranting and raving. I think for half an hour of the game, Falkirk had a hold of it, but their key players that I've seen perform against, well, arguably a better standard throughout this season, just haven't really been on it. I mean, Barney Stewart's touch has been poor. Yates hasn't been able to get on the ball. Brogio has been wasteful, and Calvin Miller, although his standards have been really high, hasn't hit those heights at all. So you know, I think they'll know there's, on both sides of it, there's a lot more to come. I'd be surprised if Falkirk, you know, weren't wanting to try and exploit down their left-hand side, because, you know, Matty Todd is he's not a natural defender, and Chaloka Mullen, who has been out for a while, is going right side centre back, and he's getting out to right back. So I think that there could be Falkirk should try and get into that area. But no, listen, short, Neil Lennon happy, John McGlynn 0-0. I wouldn't say happy, but he still knows the game's for them.
I wonder about the psychology of it, Ian. You know, Falkirk, they're favourites to win this. Everyone probably expects them to win it, given what they've produced already in the league season. That's a bit of a burden to carry, a bit of a pressure to carry.
Yeah, there's definitely that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is definitely that, and that could maybe explain why players that you've seen, or I've certainly seen flying for most of the season in the Premier League, haven't quite hit the heights. I mean, it's that expectation of winning, which they haven't really had, and they certainly haven't had it this season. And even last season, because they came up from League One, nobody expected them until they got that far away, albeit they were nearly hauled back in the Championship. But the onus was on other teams, and there definitely is that. And even if it's 5% of your subconscious, we're big favourites. You know, I'm not saying we need to turn up to win, but that type of thing in your subconscious can have a huge effect, and I think it did in the first half.
I don't think it was a good chance, Andy, the Callum Morrison chance. Right? But it wasn't a howler, it wasn't a bad miss. I don't think
Kenny,
you could say
it was that bad a miss. You'd have scored it.
No, listen. You're stretching that one.
He's just back in training, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it again there, but I'm thinking about the psychology of the game, Andy. You're an experienced player. When that happens, you go into the dressing room. What's your role as an experienced player? Is it a pat in the back, go again? Because it will play in his mind, won't it?
Well, I think the type of player Callum Morrison is, he's someone that's involved a lot in attacking areas for Dunfermline. I think the message for the experienced players, you'll get another chance. Now, whether he does or not, and especially whether he gets as good a chance as that, is a different type of question. The only thing I'll say, I was surprised at the type of finish he goes for. He goes for the laces when I think you're 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper and Scott Bain's advancing to try and narrow the angle. I think you try and have to pick a spot with the instep. But it tries to go with the laces, and you see Liam Henderson just gets that arm across to almost knock him off balance, and then he gets it all wrong. And you see the remainder of the half. Dunfermline don't really threaten a whole lot after that, but that is obviously the biggest moment of the half so far. But I was really impressed with Dunfermline the opening 15 minutes, how many first balls and second balls they landed on. Spoke about Falkirk, how hard they work out the possession. I thought Dunfermline just outworked them in the opening stages of the game, and I don't know if it was maybe just Falkirk being a bit better on the ball, land on second balls and starting to play, or that just drop off in energy where the game completely shifted, and I thought Falkirk started to gain control. The only thing I'll then say for the Falkirk point of view, I think Collie just touched on it as well, is the final delivery, but then bodies in the box. They're not getting enough bodies in the box, whether it's Dylan Tate and Finn Yates, or whether it's Miller and Brosio coming in off the flanks. Anytime the ball gets in the area, you have to get 4 or 5 attacking it and try and land on it, even if they clear it around the edge of the area. But I think Dunfermline as a unit are defending it well.
You predicted, Willie, a close game. That's come to pass. This could go all the way, couldn't it?
Well, it could, yeah, because there's not too many opportunities, clear-cut opportunities being created by either side, Kenny. Although, Falkirk are definitely controlling the game. In midfield, they'll be far better. They're just not looking too dangerous, in the final third, and they're certainly not delivering many quality balls into the box, and not enough players looking for it when they do dominate the game. So goalkeepers haven't been really tested, or they haven't been tested at all. I think Oxford on a couple of occasions worries me a little bit with cross balls. He's not too sure whether to come, whether to stay. He did miss one completely that came in from the right hand side, so he's looking a little bit nervous, but he needs tested more. I'm sure John McGlynn will be hoping that they can do that, but there's no doubt that they've taken control of this game. I'm not sure what Neil Lennon is thinking. I don't think his front three is working at all. I think they're a bit of a liability just now. I think that their back three are way too deep as well. There's too much of a gap between the back three, the mid four, and the three up top. And they just don't look as though they know what they're supposed to be doing to stop this Falkirk side passing the ball round about them. So I think he's got a lot to ponder at half time, whether he will make any changes, whether he'll change the shape, maybe go to just a one-up with the one through the middle. I mean, for me, I think Andy Todd through the middle, and the other two deeper. Trying to have an impact in a kind of a build-up scenario. Maybe that's not their game, probably isn't their game, but at the same time, he's got to do something, because I think the front three, after that first 10 minutes or so, have just fallen right out the game, and they look uncertain to what their job actually is. So it's a big effort from Neil Lennon at half-time to turn this game round. From John McGlynn, I think it's just a case of keep the good work up after that first 10 minutes. Keep passing the ball, but being more decisive in both sides of the park and creating more opportunities. And if they can do that, I think surely they will create a chance, and that chance will be taken, because we haven't seen much of Barney Stewart at all, because it just hasn't been the service that he needs and requires.
Yeah, well, I think the set up for Neil Lennon out of possession looks pretty clear. That front three are trying to play narrow and they're trying to force balls out wide, and then it's Robbie Fraser and Matty Todd on the flanks that are trying to press, and then they're sliding into a four. Well, like Collie mentioned earlier, it's then up to Falkirk to try and exploit these spaces out wide after that, and they've not managed to do so far. I think Neil Lennon will look for a little bit more of his team in possession, pretty similar to what it was in the first 15 minutes, try and land on first and second balls and then make Falkirk defend. I don't think they've made Falkirk defend enough after that opening 15 minutes of the game. But like we said, it's been an entertaining game without a whole load of action in both boxes. And I think there's certainly scope for improvement of both teams to make it an even more exciting second half.
I'm pretty sure I heard Ian and a few people have done this season, and actually the last game I covered before I was off was at the Falkirk Stadium. I think Falkirk should have got something against Celtic that midweek night. But it's the first chance I had to see Philip Lisa in the flesh. He's a special talent, isn't he?
Yeah, well, we're 24 hours on for the PFA Team of the Year being announced, and I must admit I'm surprised his name wasn't on it. I think he's been the standout candidate at right back this season, and I think the fact Falkirk don't have a player in that starting 11, I think they'll feel extremely disheartened about. Calvin Miller's another one that's had a fantastic season, although for me he's competing in a really tough category. You see them at a forwards that are having good seasons in the league, but for me, Lissa, I think he's been the standout right back. I think he'll feel disappointed he's not made it. And at times he's played centre half this season. It looked extremely comfortable in there as well. But I think any flashes that Falkirk have had has came from him marauding down that right hand side. It's just that little final moment, that final bit of quality in the final third that's lacking at the minute.
So do you get a vote?
He was in mine. I voted him in mine. He was my right back.
So you vote. You pick a whole team, do you? You don't just pick like your possession.
No,
or whatever. You pick a whole team.
Yeah, so pick the full
team.
team.
Have you got your team? Would you remember off the top of your head?
Yeah.
Give us your team.
So my full team, but obviously I'm not allowed to vote any Motherwell players. So I'll get that in early.
So I 6 Rangers players in this.
So I had Butland, Tavernier, Suter. No, it was Swallow in goals. It was Lissa, Fernandez, Halkett, Milne. So that was the back four except for Lissa. My midfield three was Raskin, Devlin and Negrin, and then my front three was Calvin, Miller, Braga, Shanklin.
I like that team.
No, Maswanisi.
I can't vote Maswanisi. I can't vote a Motherwell player.
Of course. Okay, well that makes it a bit easier.
So for me, I thought
if you could,
I think Maswanisi, Elijah Just and Callum Ward were 3 stick-ons to get in. I felt they 3 were going to make it. Brilliant to see we've got 5 in as well, because listen, Elliot Watt and Paul McGinn have both had fantastic seasons as well. But I think they 3 in particular, Maswanisi, Just and Ward, I thought were definitely going to get in it.
Yeah, well, speaking of candidates, Tom, we know what a great season. Even Willie was saying he's been quiet so far, but Calvin Miller, he's the guy that he could just change this game, couldn't he, in a flash?
Yeah, he could. Yeah, I really rate him highly, and he could burst into life, as you say, Ken. He could burst into life at any moment. Lots of goals this season, a lot of assists this season, a lot of really good moments from him. I was a little bit disappointed for him that he wasn't in the last Scotland squad, because I think that is an area for Scotland where they are lacking. Just like centre forward is, out left is an area where they don't have a lot. And I don't know if he's good enough to be an international player, but I'd like to have given him the opportunity to find out, because I think he's got a lot of tricks in him, a huge amount of confidence in him. Beats the players. Delivery hasn't been good in the first half. Ian is dead right, but through the course of the season, it's been really good. You would hope that he will catch fire in the second half so we can see him. I don't think he's going to make the Scotland squad now, but yeah, him and there's a few others that I'd be a little bit disappointed for that weren't in the last Scotland squad, because he's had a fine season.
Yeah, very good player. Ian and Willie, you've got the team sheets in front of you there. When you look down the benches, I know the teams are just coming out here. Is there any changes that you think would be fairly obvious for the managers to make if this game doesn't change?
Well, I think John McGlynn will not change what he does. I mean, he changes 2 or 3 out of the front 4 after an hour, between 60 and 70 minutes most games. So I can see that happening. It's what striker he puts on the pitch. I see Ross McIver's back. It could be Wilson and Ross getting on in the wider areas. For Dunfermline, I think it'll be I've been watching their captain and him getting up and down the pitch. He's a terrific player, but I'm just wondering how long he's going to last. For me, he doesn't look 100% fit, but what changes Neil can make, kind of who knows. I think it'll depend how their two players, Todd and Chilocca Mullen, who are really key, how they last.
Well, the teams are back out at the National Stadium. Let's get back there now. Dunfermline against Falkirk for a place in next month's Scottish Cup final with Willie Miller, Ian McCall and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Kenny. Teams back out, no changes for the moment at least. Now let's see how the second half transpires as both Falkirk and Dunfermline vie for a place in the Scottish Cup final of 2026. Dunfermline kick us off, going from right to left in the second period as we look at it from the top tier of the main stand here at Hampden Park, and Dunfermline immediately knocked the ball out of play deep in Falkirk's territory. Fraser picks up though on a clearance, fires it out to the right hand side. Can Matty Todd catch that? The answer to that is no, and it will be a Falkirk throw, and Falkirk will be looking to start the second half in the manner they finished the first, rather than the manner they started the first period, where they were slow out the traps, while Dunfermline really came out making life difficult for them. But Falkirk gradually played their way into the game and were the better team in the latter part of that first period. And here they are trying to come forward again, but Ahmad gets himself in the way and finds Todd down the right hand side. Now Morrison tracked by Henderson, little slip there by Henderson, but across comes Spencer to help out his teammate and thwart his former teammate Callum Morrison. Wonder how easy it is to put a miss like he had out your mind. I'm just thinking, when you guys were talking about it at half time, maybe you can cast your mind back to the semi-final when they lost to Cali Thistle, and I seem to remember, was it Callum Morrison who missed? There was it was like an open goal, albeit he was like really quite far out, but I think he hit the post in the end, and I think that was it, 0-0. Here come Dunfermline, and with Callum Morrison looking to put that and the other memory out, and he just kind of rather stumbles into the Falkirk player, and actually the free kick is going to go Falkirk's way. Connor Allen just kind of stood his ground, and Morrison did nothing other than run into him more or less, and Falkirk get the decision, and Callum Morrison, things still not going his way.
It almost looks like, I'm not sure on your last question, but it almost looks as if the miss for Callum Morrison, I think it's making him try too hard. I think he's running. Oh, there we go. No, I think he's just trying way too hard in the game
and not thinking.
Maybe, yes,
because he had two options. Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
His two striking teammates there. If he got his head up, there was possibilities that he might have played them in. But at the end of the day, he just gets the head down, and he runs into the Falkirk player, and the referee, absolutely spot on, gives the free kick to Falkirk.
Looks like Brogio and Miller have switched wings at the start of this second half. Brogio out on the left to begin with, and Miller further towards the right to just mix things up a little bit. As you've spoken about on numerous occasions, Ian, there is a lot of fluidity about the three that plays in behind Barney Stewart. Falkirk have it at the back at the moment, as Henderson plays it to his central defensive partner Allen, and then back with Bain, who tries to put the ball out to the right hand side again. That's not the first one he's misplaced, and Fraser picks up into Kane. He slips it away from Henderson. He's going to go for goal, but a terrific block by Henderson, who recovered. And now Chilocca Mullen takes it up out to the right hand side. Matty Todd from that right hand side, decent ball in. Henderson gets his head to it, still in the 6-yard box. Allen heads it behind. Dunfermline fans are roused by that. They'll have a corner kick on this left hand side at the start of the second period, 0-0 after 49 minutes.
I think it gives the fans a little bit of hope, doesn't it, that they can take part in this game. It's very similar to the start of the first half, where they seem to have found new energy. They haven't changed anything. Don't see anything in the Dunfermline side that Neil Lennon has changed, but other than when they're going forward, the back three are pushing up much more, and the front three are trying to engage with the opposite numbers, but they've got an opportunity. They've got a corner here early in the second half.
Yeah, they have. Left hand side, Matty Todd to take, the right-footed player, be an in-swinger, you imagine here. It's Kane who meets it at the near post, but he couldn't get the angle he was looking for, heads it well off target in the end. Difficult skill to do, to try and get the perfect glancing header at that near post. Outside the near post he was when he made the connection. It's got to be, as I say, absolutely perfect to angle that past Scott Bain as it was well past the post.
I think he's just trying to get a touch on it. I know he had, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be trying to score from there. Just get a touch on into the danger area.
Yeah. He didn't manage that either in the end, as Falkirk come forward here now down the left-hand side. Barney Stewart gives chase. Abdullahi is with him. Abdullahi claims it was out of play, but no, it's going to be a Falkirk corner now. Abdullahi claiming it was out for a throw-in, but the referee having none of it. Certainly the flag didn't go up from Douglas Ross on that far side. Falkirk taking the corner short. It's Miller left-hand side, lays it back the way as Brogio sends it to the back post. Up goes Lisa, and I think the ball was already out of play by the time he made contact. It's a Dunfermline player down who was tracking the run there. It's probably Fraser was tracking the run of Lisa, and he ended up underneath Lisa after the header was attempted by the defender. He's back on his feet though, he's fine, and Dunfermline will have the goal kick. 5 minutes of the second half gone, and still no goals, and the longer it goes at 0-0, almost the more crucial the opening goal comes, because it might be the only one. And of course there is scope for extra time and penalties if required this afternoon, as Oxborough fires it over the halfway line from the goal kick. Kane can't make anything of it. A man involved in St Johnstone's cup double of a few years ago. Bain plays it short to Connor Allen. Allen over the halfway line, looking for Yates to try and get onto it. He's beaten to it by Gwenya. Then Abdullahi helps it forward. Charlie Gilmore does well to direct that into the path of Andy Todd. Seen out of play there by Lisa. I think it's a Falkirk throw in, yeah. Falkirk throw just inside their own half. Lisa takes that quickly into the feet of Brad Spencer, just inside his own half in the centre circle. Out to his left to McCann, and now Brogio. Back once more with Brad Spencer. He plays it just back into his own half to Connor Allen, quickly out to the right hand side to Lisa. Steps away from Andy Todd, who was caught off balance there, then tries the ball forward. So not a bad idea. Cut out well though by the Dunfermline backline. Now Tate picks up, short ball to Miller. Miller right central area, again not in the same wavelength as Barney Stewart, and all the way through without any harm to the Dunfermline defence to Aston Oxborough on loan from Motherwell. As Neil Lennon has searched for the solution to a goalkeeping problem all season. He's tried 2 or 3 different ones. Oxford gets the nod today as Fraser now plays it down the left hand side. Allen diving header out of play. Dunfermline throw in midway inside the Falkirk half down their left flank here. Fraser to take once more, looking for an option here. Callum Morrison giving him a bit of movement. In field it goes to Morrison, tracked there by Spencer. Good challenge. Tate takes over, clips it forward for Barney Stewart. Stewart checks over his shoulder to see where Abdullahi is, and he pretty much gives it straight to Abdullahi, who in turn has turned it over to Miller. Miller steps away from Charlie Gilmore. Infield to Tate here, looking to get the better of Ahmad, then helps it forward. Yates won't catch that one though. As you've said a couple of times, Ian, the number of misplaced passes from Falkirk has been most unlike them.
Yeah, no, listen, the whole game, as much as it's been intriguing in the first half, something needs to happen quite soon before the quality descends a wee bit. I thought that was a good pass from Tate there. I think Yates is the type of player that I think likes the ball to feed, but if he just spins beyond, I think he's on that to go and cross it from a really dangerous area.
Goal kick then instead to Dunfermline. No wins in 5 against Falkirk. It's on 2 and lost 3 in that period since a 2-0 home win in League One back in February of 2023. Matty Todd was in the score sheet that day. Falkirk have got a throw in here midway inside their own half, left hand side. We still await the opening goal here at the National Stadium in this Scottish Cup semi-final. Out for another Falkirk throw on the far side. The Falkirk left, more or less on the halfway line this time, as McCann goes long down that left looking for Broziol. He doesn't get onto it, but it's knocked out for yet another Falkirk throw, and they're making a few yards each time here as McCann prepares to take the latest one. Yates goes and offers himself short, gets it back to McCann, and now Spencer, the captain of Falkirk. It's a good ball down the left, but again Yates didn't quite anticipate it, didn't bring it under control. It's a good ball from Spencer, clever ball, maybe too clever almost for his teammate on that occasion. And now Dunfermline have got to throw in deep in their own territory. 10 minutes of the second half played, still 0-0 between these two bitter rivals. McCann gets his head to the throw, and now it's Barney Stewart at the edge of the box, tries to slip it for Miller, but Nguyen on that occasion, but he's run into trouble. He's giving it back to Miller on the edge of the box, closed down quickly by Abdullahi. He had to recover there as Nguyen almost put his side in trouble. Challenge from Ahmad comes in, and Falkirk get the throw in, quickly taken left hand side. It's McCann almost at the byline, trying to hit the byline, and he wins his side, a corner kick off Gilmore.
I mean, Calvin Miller were on there, I don't know what, he had a quick look up, I thought the lob was on. I thought that's what he saw, and he was just going to try and dink it, and he kind of hesitated.
You get a feeling that if a goal's going to come, it's going to come from a mistake. You know, because to be perfectly honest, the second half has been a hard watch, a difficult watch. You know, too many misplaced passes and not nearly enough quality. But you never know, we might be surprised, we might get something sensational out of this game.
Well, we shall see. It's a corner kick to Falkirk, left hand side. Only Dylan Tate in the Falkirk jersey inside the 6-yard box, right on Aston Oxborough. John Beaton had a word with him there, and it comes, headed away by Nguyen. Falkirk pick up once more, but not cleanly, and they're going to go all the way back to Scott Bain. And the corner kick comes to nothing really. Bain gets it back once more from Allen, midway inside his own half, plays it short to Spencer. Spencer out to the left hand side to McCann, who's been good as he has been all season. Now Spencer once more, 10 yards inside his own half, plays it back the way to Connor Allen. Andy Todd shutting off the pass out to Lisa. Instead it goes short to Dylan Tate. Now he clips it forward, looking for Lisa to make the run down that right hand side. Fraser's there to turn it back to Oxborough. Oxborough first time with their left foot. It's a good clearance up towards the halfway line. Kane looking to make a nuisance of himself, so strong, and he's brought to the ground. It's a yellow card for Connor Allen. It feels a little bit harsh. I'm not sure Allen did all that much wrong there, but it is him that's been shown the yellow and a free kick to Dunfermline, 10 yards inside the Falkirk half. Holding that was given for, so maybe Kane was going to get away, but I mean he was up against two Falkirk defenders there. He made such a nuisance to play against.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an experienced striker play. I can guarantee if you saw a replay, he'd be holding as much as the centre back as the defenders were holding.
So Connor Allen, the first Falkirk player into the book, as Dunfermline get this free kick 10 yards inside the Falkirk half, to be taken by Kieran Nguyen. Fires it out to the right hand side. Dunfermline have done well there. Oh, that's going to be another free kick. That could be another yellow card for Leo McCann this time. Yeah, it is. Pulling Matty Todd to the ground after Todd had done really well to escape his clutches initially.
Pretty straightforward. You can, I mean, we're the other end of the stadium, the other side of the stadium as well, and you could see that it was a definite free kick, and the referee spot, and a yellow card as well. It is deteriorating a little bit into a bit of attrition, isn't it? A bit of a battle. Very scrappy game so far.
It is scrappy at the moment, yeah. Right hand side then, Dunfermline have this free kick fired into the 6-yard box to the back post. Nguyen back across, almost on at the penalty spot, but Calvin Miller sweeps it away, and it's picked up by Robbie Fraser. Fraser out to the left hand side. Andy Todd gets something on it. Going to fall for Charlie Gilmore about 25 yards out. He tries to get it back out to the right hand side, manages to do so. Matty Todd picks up once more. A couple of Falkirk players, gets the cross in. Spencer clear. Out of the penalty area it comes. Gilmore climbs well. Kane flicks on, and Scott Bain will dive at the feet of Callum Morrison and gets there just ahead of the front man. It's the Dunfermline fans again who are on their feet and finding their voice as their side come close to finding the opener. but not close enough. 59 on the clock, still 0-0 as Falkirk now with a bit of space in the middle of the park. It's Yates on the halfway line. McCann coming forward, left hand side now, slips it into Brogio. Brogio left of the penalty area. Can he find the pass? It's Miller. He was falling and his shot was a weak one, and it comes off in Gwenya, and it's an easy take for Oxford. Again, that looked like a good opportunity, but Miller just seemed to lose his footing at the vital moment.
Yeah, I mean, you feel as though he's got to steady himself there. Brogio does really well, and it's a good kind of a cross-field pass, a good bit of pace on it, but I just feel that Miller, I thought he could have even taken a touch if he could have kept his feet and then pulled the trigger, but seemed to go to ground early. I'm not sure if he slipped or he just fancied sliding in and tried to get the shot off in that manner, but a decent opportunity, and a little bit better play from either side. We haven't been given much of that in the second half.
Henderson a moment ago was climbing all over Chris Kane again, and the referee just allowed it to go, maybe working on the basis that Kane wasn't jumping, not giving Henderson any other option. But Dunfermline have picked up once more in a decent area, right hand side, and it goes to Ahmad. Back now with Chillicothe Mullen, and now Abdullahi about 15 yards inside the Falkirk half. Plays it square to Gwenya. Gwenya has given Robbie Fraser a bit of work to do, but he'll get there, and he clips it down the left hand side. Allen's first to it, comes back to Fraser just inside the Falkirk half. Good control as we just tick past the hour mark. Chillicothe Mullen out to the right hand side. Dunfermline feel like they've got a little bit of a wind in their sails again as Matty Todd brings it forward up against McCann. He'll need to be that bit more careful. I thought that came back off Todd there, but the linesman on the far side signals for corner kick. Actually, I think he's given. I thought it was a throw-in, but no, he's lining up the corner. So another opportunity here for Dunfermline to try and get themselves in front in this Scottish Cup semi-final tie. Maybe Matty Todd once more is in another good game, having been the scourge of Aberdeen in the previous round. Todd from the right hand side drives that one into the 6-yard box. Good glancing header away from Henderson. He had to get a touch on that as Andy Todd picks up now on the left hand side, and that's going to be a Falkirk throw, and he hasn't managed to keep that in play. But well, Falkirk going to make a change here, and you can't help but feel it was a necessary one to just try and lift their performance somewhat. And it's going to be Carell Wilson to replace Finn Yates, who hasn't really been able to make an impact in the game. And Wilson's another one of those players, Ian, with lightning pace. Yeah. And he will try and make the difference here with the scoreline still at 0-0.
Yeah, I think he's more of a ball carrier, the Finn Yates. Finn Yates is kind of midfield, going into that 10 position, but Wilson likes to run with the ball and get at people, and as you say, he's really, really quick.
And here he is, firing the ball forward, asking Calvin Miller to go and run onto it, but Oxborough beats him to it. And he fires it forward, and Kane will try and latch onto it. Across comes Allen, but Kane will get his body back in between man and ball and finds Andy Todd. Andy Todd now left hand side of the area, almost away from Lisa there. Lisa recovered well and fires it onto the chest of Miller. Miller helps it on to Brogio. Brogio just seemed to hesitate there, and that allowed Abdullahi to steal it. Abdullahi now out to the right hand side for Matty Todd. Todd's cross blocked by McCann. McCann gets it clear, and he's found Brogio now. Left hand side, pokes it back in field to Dylan Tate. Tate forward to Miller. Miller just inside his box. Can he find a forward ball here for Wilson? Wilson almost in behind, but the ball just drifts out to the right. Fraser's with him. In support here is Dylan Tate, stands up to the back post. Stewart just can't quite reach it, and Oxford claims it. And 63 minutes in, it's still Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
Yeah, I mean, the pitch is getting really big. The game's getting really, really long and really stretched. Just needs one bit of quality from one of the teams. I'm not sure Brogio will stay in the pitch much longer. I think he's been really ineffective today for Falkirk.
Falkirk pick up once more. Stewart lays it back to Tate, clips it into Miller. Can he get a good touch here? Calvin Miller just goes out to his left hand side and can't get the ball back in. Some faint claims for a handball, I think, by Abdullahi, mainly from the Falkirk fans. Nothing doing. Here's Spencer just outside the box, back out to the left to Miller. Miller up against Abdullahi, trying to take him on. It comes off Abdullahi, and that'll fall into the arms of Aston Oxborough. And Falkirk's go-to players this afternoon, Willie, just haven't been at their best, have they?
Yeah, Calvin Miller, I mean, it's a very poor touch from him. I thought it was a really impressive ball from Tate, playing him in, and he had plenty of space and plenty of time to take the touch and produce something from it, but he didn't control it, and that's not the first time, we've been able to say that this afternoon. So yeah, I would say their go-to players are not and have not as yet performed to their standard that they should be.
Dunfermline in possession, left-hand side on the halfway line. Good challenge though by Lisa on Andy Todd, who hasn't really impacted the game thus far. 65 minutes in.
He's been pulled out to a left wide position, hasn't he? Trying to do both jobs, trying to help the midfield going back the way, and also trying to be, a threat going forward. I don't know if he's managing to produce either, to be honest.
Dunfermline have it again through Abdullahi, midway inside his own half, just out to the right hand side. Short ball to Chillicor Mullen, forward for Morris, and tries a little trick to get away from Henderson, but Henderson was having none of it. Comes off him though for a throw in over on the far side of Dunfermline right. And John Beat just wants the free kick, the throw in taken a few yards back here from Chillicor Mullen. So about 25 minutes left in the 90. Are either of these sides going to find a winning goal within that period as Dunfermline prepare to make their first change of the afternoon? We've got Shea Kearney getting stripped down there. I wonder if that might be Chillicor Mullen making way. Ian was wondering how much of the game he would manage, having been out recently. He is about to take this throw in though on that right hand side. Or it might be that Kearney comes on in a right wing back position and Matty Todd is brought into a more central role. We shall see. Here Falkirk though in possession. Oh no, John Beaton's brought it back for something. It's going to be a free kick, I think, to Falkirk. Midway inside the own. That was a drop ball actually. I'm not sure if it maybe came off John Beaton. Anyway,
I think he's got to give it to Falkirk, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a Falkirk drop ball, and now it goes back to Scott Bain. We're approaching the midway point in the second period. It has been a rather tame affair in this second half. No clear-cut chances as Bain goes over the halfway line. Abdullahi again getting the better of Barney Stewart, but it's going to fall for Calvin Miller. Miller spins, dragged to the ground there by Ahmad. It'll be a Falkirk free kick, right slap bang in the middle of the pitch there in the Dunfermline half. And it's going to be Callum Morrison who makes way for Shea Kearney. And I think the boos coming from the Falkirk fans. Don't like the manner in which he parted company with them, and not least then joining their bitter rivals, but he didn't have the impact he would have hoped for this afternoon, and that chance that he missed after a couple of minutes might still be haunting him later on. Still will be just now, you imagine, but the scoreline's still 0-0 as Wilson gets it back to Lisa, and now Miller right hand side for Falkirk. Wilson still in support. Miller comes back the way to the halfway line to Allen. Kane trying to shut off the pass, the angle to Leon McCann, but it does get there. Right on the halfway line, it's McCann going across to the left hand side. Short ball for Brosio, but he gets it back to Brad Spencer now. Looking to try and create something here. One over the top for Wilson. Can he kill it? It's a terrible touch from Carell Wilson. After a wonderful pick out from Brad Spencer. And all you're looking for there is the quality from the youngster, and he couldn't get the deft touch he required to set himself with a shot at goal, and Dunfermline breathed a sigh of relief. 68.5 minutes played, midway point in this second period, and it's still Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
Yeah, a little bit windy there. I don't know. Willie thought, I still think he's going to do miles better. It's not that hard a ball to take down out the sky, and if he does that, he's either got a wee cut back or he's got to strike a goal 1-on-1 with the goalie.
I mean, what you would say is that he's taken up a great position. He's made a really positive run. Everything right, even the pass, from Spencer was spot on, and he's just got to control it. I think you can give players easy excuses. I think he should be feeling that he has to do a lot better and just controlling the ball. And you're right, Ian, he's got a couple of opportunities then. He can take it on himself, or he can, drill it across the face, cut it back, and that's a chance. That's a good chance for Falkirk. And any chances they seem to create, they constantly give them away.
Here's Matty Todd, challenged, and then fouls Brad Spencer via Falkirk free kick. So the change that Dunfermline have made, Shea Kearney has taken up that right wing back role. Matty Todd seems to have come out more to the left hand side, and that allows Andy Todd to go back. Willie, you were talking about him having almost been forced to play out in that left hand side. He's now in a more central area in support of Chris Kane. So a little bit of a reshuffle from Neil Lennon there with that change that they've made as we approach the final 20 minutes of the game.
He'll be more comfortable through the middle, Andy Todd, surely. It's a more natural position for him, so sure it looks like an intelligent little tactical change from Neil Lennon.
Abdullah's header forward, flicked on by Todd, and Henderson beats Kane to it. Comes back to Allen. Allen on the halfway line for Spencer, gets it back to Allen once more. Now Lisa, about 15 yards inside his own half, just feints away from Matty Todd, and then finds a good ball for Dylan Tate. Tate now up to the edge of the box, almost right into the path of Calvin Miller, but not quite. And Dunfermline managed to clear their lines. Tate and Spencer just looking for those killer passes, and you feel that one time it's going to come off as Falkirk press for the opening goal, and it could well be the winning goal if there is a goal to come within the 90 minutes. Here's Tate once more, right hand side, just knocks it back to Allen. Spencer taking over on the halfway line, back out to Lisa, right hand side. Again steps away from Todd into a more central area, still just about 20 yards inside the Dunfermline half. Spencer once more out to the right hand side for Carell Wilson, up against Fraser here, a couple of step overs, and lays it back to Spencer about 30 from goal. Out to the right hand side for Tate to try and swing one in, does so to the back post. Who's it going to fall for? The answer is Shea Kearney, the substitute, who will try and bring it forward for Dunfermline. A challenge made there by Brosio, diving in there, and John Beaton sees that as a foul, and a free kick to Dunfermline, just a few yards inside their own half. 71.5 on the clock, still no sign of a goal.
Yeah, the worry for John McGlynn, I think, from his point of view, is that as much as they dominate some of the game, they're not really making any chances. They're not in the creative areas. They've been way below par from certainly what I've seen this season.
So Dunfermline free kick to be taken by Chillicor Mullet. Tries to sweep it out to the left hand side. It's an adventurous one, but Fraser does well to get to it first. Lisa helps it on though, then Miller, who's caught late by Ngwenya, but forward comes Wilson. Wilson, can he slip it here out to the left hand side? Is Ben Brosio with a chance, right footed finish, just wide of the post. That's as close as Falkirk have come pretty much all game. 72 minutes in, and Brosio just trying to find the opposite bottom corner, and he got it maybe a half a yard wrong side of the post, and it remains Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
He's not too far away though, is he? And it looks like Dunfermline maybe getting a little bit leggy out there. There's big gaps beginning to appear, and Brosio getting the opportunity. I think he's done everything right. He's looked up, he's tried to pick his spot, he's just not been accurate enough with the shot towards the back post. So I think from a Dunfermline point of view, they just need to watch that they don't expose themselves too much going forward, although obviously they'll be looking to try and get that all-important goal. But there seems to be some gaps appearing in their back three at times. Sometimes that's a back four as well, and you just feel that Falkirk, they're going to create more. They've just got to be able to take the opportunities that they create.
Here's Miller, back to Tate, midway inside the Dunfermline half, just to the left hand side. Tate slows it up as McCann back the way to Henderson, about 10 yards inside the Dunfermline half now. Falkirk just in the ascendancy at the moment, but still no goals to show for it. As the ball's played down that left hand side, asking a lot of Leon McCann, and he won't get there. And then he kicks away the ball that was sitting on the little cone waiting to be used in the multi-ball system, and he's got to be careful actually, because he's in a yellow card, and that might seem pretty innocuous, but delaying the restart is technically a yellow card offence. Not that Dunfermline necessarily were in a massive hurry, but It's not the kind of thing you want to be doing, giving the referee a decision to make. It will be a Dunfermline throw in deep in their own territory. Chillicoe Mullen down the line. Shea Kearney spins away from Brosio well. Tries to play it forward for Andy Todd. Out of play though from Connor Allen. Another throw in on the right hand side for Dunfermline here. Just inside the Falkirk half. Just over a quarter of an hour to play as Dunfermline prepare to make another change. A double change actually. And I think it's going to be Josh Cooper and Tashin Oakley Booth who are coming on, and Alphonse Ahmad will be replaced in the midfield. And then the other change is going to see Chris Kane make way as Josh Cooper comes on. And so he's worked ever so hard, Chris Kane, as always, and for the final 15 minutes on come Cooper and Oakley Booth.
I think Kane is gutted has been taken off there. You know, I think 75 minutes is what he plays now. You know, certainly this season. But I think he felt he had a lot left in the tank.
Interesting to see if it's just a case of fresh legs or if there's any other tactical tweaks from Neil Lennon. Certainly, you'd imagine Oakley Booth will just go and sit in the midfield where Ahmad was playing. Cooper certainly a different type of forward player to Chris Kane, who go and play up near Andy Todd. And it is Dunfermline in possession out to the right hand side. And it is Todd coming forward almost at the byline. Kane, McCann makes the challenge. Then was he caught there as he made the clearance? That's certainly his claim. The official saw nothing wrong, and play continues with a Dunfermline throw. And Chillicoe Mullen right hand side in a tight spot, and he's lost it. And it's Miller plays it infield, and he's lost it. And it's picked up here by Josh Cooper, the substitute, right hand side. They're going to try and create something. Can Dunfermline get the goal they require? They played it off McCann. They've got themselves a corner kick, and the more and more the game goes on, the more it looks as though one goal will win it. Ian McCall.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and it looks like it might come from a set play, because the lack of creativity from both teams in the final third has been great all season, but has been reasonably poor today.
Right hand side then, Dunfermline have this corner kick. Matty Todd's deliveries have been pretty good. They've been quite troublesome for the Falkirk backline, just kind of drawing them into the 6-yard box. A little bit of cut on them here. Let's see what he tries this time. More of an outswinger, which is met by Stewart and headed out of the penalty area as Oakley Booth picks up, tries to consider a pass. He's gone back the way here to Robbie Fraser. Fraser sweeps out to the right hand side once more. It's a really good ball for Matty Todd in that angle of the box. Lays it back here. It's a highly ambitious effort from Josh Cooper, and he'll wish he hadn't taken that on. It's blasted well over the top. 77 on the clock now, and it's still Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
Yeah, just a little bit of desperation now, isn't it, from some of the players out there. It has been poor in terms of the creative side of the game. Haven't really seen too many opportunities being created by either team. A lot of effort, you got to say. It's kept your interest, that's for sure. But just a final touch, final pass, final shot. You're looking at it, and I don't think we've seen one that has lived up to the expectations, particularly from Falkirk.
Yeah, the occasion almost getting to them to some extent. Philip Lisa with a throw in here then with 12 minutes left to play, and if the scoreline remains as it is 0-0, then we will be heading for an extra half an hour. Here's Spencer for Falkirk. Can he inspire something? Big diagonal ball for Wilson, not sure as he's trying to find Stewart with the first time pass there. It wasn't good enough if that's what he was trying. It's again tamely into the arms of Aston Oxford, who's had a very quiet afternoon, albeit Scott Bain likewise at the other end says similar.
I don't remember either goalie making a save, not one save.
Yeah, which is a disappointment for a semi-final, but certainly the first half felt like there was chances at either end. Second half's been a poorer affair as Dunfermline pick up in the middle of the park. Chillicoe Mullen gets his feet and limps a little bit, but the ball's on the other side. Left hand side is Dunfermline come forward, and that's a sliding challenge from Lisa, and that is going to be another yellow card as he sighs down Andy Todd there. And a yellow card and a free kick in a pretty decent position, you'd have to say, here, left of the penalty area for Dunfermline.
That's a wild challenge, that, isn't it, from Lisa? I mean, he's nowhere near the ball. You know, it's quite violent as well, I would suggest, on Todd. You know, for me, it's... Well, I would say that's a borderline decision for the referee. I can understand why it's just a yellow, but at the same time, you know, it's wild. He's nowhere near the ball. He gets the player. Just looking at a replay of it as well. That's a dangerous tackle.
It's so out of cat. It seems to me, anyway, to be out of cat. He's so composed in the rest of his game, the way he approaches football, the way he takes touches in the ball, the way he passes the ball. He's just lost totally. He was just totally committed to diving in there, and it was a really, really poor challenge.
VAR certainly happy with the award of the yellow card. No suggestion that was needing to be upgraded as Andy Todd gets back to his feet. And now the opportunity here for the championship side. Matty Todd over this free kick. It's 5 yards maybe outside the penalty area to the left of it, about 10 yards, maybe 12. In fact, it's right in line with the penalty spot. It's 12 yards from the goal line. So it's a really good position to try and put a dangerous ball in here, and we know that Matty Todd is capable of good delivery. Can he produce one here and perhaps find the defining moment of this semi-final? It's Matty Todd, left-hand side for Dunfermline. Plenty of bodies inside that penalty area to aim for. Can he pick one out? Swings it in right on top of Scott Bain, who punches clear, and Miller helps it on. It's good goalkeeping that under significant pressure there from Scott Bain as Spencer's got the free kick there. I'm not entirely sure how. He's the one who's won that free kick, and Cooper's been penalised, and it looked like Spencer rather just bundled himself into him.
I think Bain did brilliantly there. I mean, I think Willie and I both think that he should have been coming for a cut across, but he did brilliant there.
Abdullah under a bit of pressure at the other end from Brogio, manages to get it clear out on that far side. The Falkirk fans want more from their team here in the final 9 minutes. Can they find the winning goal? Brian Graham and Ethan Ross just coming back from a warm-up, but neither of them are going to come on imminently, but Falkirk are going to make a change. Looks like Ben Parkinson, the man who got the goal against Hearts earlier in the competition, and also scored the winning penalty in his shootout, but then didn't play for a good chunk of the season after that. Looks like he's going to get at least 8 minutes of this game, plus possibly extra time, as Falkirk come forward down the right hand side. Back the way then with Allen. Allen just leaves it to Lisa, and now Spencer, about 10 yards inside the Dunfermline half. Both sides will be getting a little bit nervy. They certainly don't want to lose it at this stage. Can they find the quality required to win it? That is the question. The change is going to happen now. Is it going to be a straight swap for Barney Stewart? Yes, it is. So Ben Parkinson coming on for Barney Stewart, who served both these clubs well. And I have to say, I was kind of thinking the headline was almost being written for Barney Stewart to get the winner in this one, but it's not to be. Ben Parkinson can come on and try and make himself the hero potentially with a late winner. Not Barney Stewart's day here at Hampden, but you would think with the rise that he has had over the last 18 months or so, there's further visits to Hampden in the future for him. Falkirk with the throw in then, left hand side, in a decent area into Miller. Miller back for Tate, takes a swing at it on the left foot and gets it all wrong, and possession exchanges hands, and Dunfermline try and get it forward, but good covering there by Connor Allen, who goes down, and Douglas Ross belatedly signals for a free kick, as though Andy Todd caught Connor Allen, and he's been given a yellow card for his troubles there, the Dunfermline forward. So I think that was the assistant on the far side too signalled that.
I think Tate's strike there was just, I mean, he just looked absolutely knackered. You know, that was laziness that wanted him to hit that first time. I think he looks a little bit tired now. A really influential player for Falkirk.
He's just throwing his leg at it as well, isn't
absolutely.
He? And at the other end, yeah, Andrew Todd, it's just a push. I don't think there's too much It is a free
I
kick.
think he puts his studs on it, studs down the heel.
I didn't see that in the replay.
Yeah,
if he's done that, then absolutely it's a yellow card. I was more focused on the push in the back. He definitely pushed the Falkirk player in the back.
6 minutes to play then. Dunfermline in possession, midway inside their own half. Played forward down the right hand side for Todd. Keeps it in on that right touchline, then plays a rather hopeful and pretty poor ball, in all honesty. And Scott Bain gathers that one comfortably, rolls it out to Spencer. Now Miller at the halfway line, central area, just inside his own half. Lays it back for Connor Allen. Can one of those sides come up with the little bit of class required to win this semi-final? McCann rolls it back for Henderson. Tate comes to pick up possession in the centre circle for Falkirk. Lays it to his right to Connor Allen. And now Brogio. Lisa forward down the right hand side into Wilson. Wilson gets it back from Brogio. Little layoff from Tate. Now it's Ben Brogio. Can he find the ball inside? Oh, he's just skewed that. He's got it all wrong again. Not the first Falkirk player we've said that about this afternoon, and he was just looking to try and lay it into the path of Ben Parkinson, who made a good run inside the penalty area, but Brogio couldn't pick him out. And with 85 on the clock, it's still Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
I mean, I think we need to say it's a wee bit more than just got it wrong there. I mean, goodness me. I mean, he's obviously a really talented young boy, but I mean, he passed it all the wrong. I think he stumbled. He must have stumbled, just kicked it out.
Kicked it off his left foot before his standing foot, and he just took a swipe at it with his right. Just took it behind.
Just try to do things too quickly at times. Just calm down, take your time. He had time. He had room as well.
Straight out of play from Lisa. Yeah, the second half's definitely been lacking in quality. John McGlynn not happy down there, gesticulating at the edge of his technical area. He will not be delighted by his side's performance. And here comes Matty Todd at the other end, slips it infield. It's a chance here for Josh Cooper. He just couldn't get out of his feet, and Falkirk recover, and the chance is gone. And then Gilmore drags Tate to the ground, and Falkirk get the free kick just outside the penalty area. But just for a moment it looked like Todd had created the opening there for Cooper.
It did, didn't it? Good work from Matty Todd as well down the left-hand side, and Cooper should do much better. But we've said that on so many occasions in the game. It's been. And there's another really, really poor pass. The longer the game goes, the worse the quality it becomes. And when you get, a little pocket of something that gets you excited, then it usually ends up with more disappointment.
Abdullahi stayed down. He just took a little knock in clearing the ball a moment ago as Parkinson closed him down. It didn't look initially like it was a foul. Certainly John Beaton didn't blow for it, but Abdullahi has felt the brunt of it. But St. Lamb's another misplaced pass by Brogio. He's trying to play it out to the left-hand side for McCann, and he just completely got his angles wrong. And Ian had speculated a few minutes ago that he didn't think he had all that much time left in the park necessarily, but he's been kept on for the moment. But both managers will be giving some thought to the prospect of extra time, which is looming larger and larger.
Well, you do not want to make a mistake now in the last 3 or 4 minutes, that's for sure. Either side.
No, you don't want to be that guy, do you? It costs your side a place in the final. Henderson clips it forward right onto the head of Abdullahi. And a little bit of a sandwich going on there, and Gilmore gets the decision on the halfway line, quickly taken, not from the right place though, and it'll be pulled back.
It's so petty that. I mean, what are you talking about? A yard from where the incident took place. John Beaton pulling it back. Allow play to continue, I would suggest.
Now it's taken. Fraser down the left for Matty Todd, trying to get away from Carell Wilson. He's done well, but Lisa just brushes him aside. He's looking for a free kick, but Lisa was just stronger than him in the end and faster. Played up towards Parkinson. He can't keep it in, and it's out for a Dunfermline throw. We've got 90 seconds remaining, plus I think going to be roughly 4 minutes added on at the end, as Lisa picks up midway inside his own half. We're just looking for a glimmer of quality in these closing stages, or otherwise we are looking at an additional half an hour, and we don't especially want to see another half an hour of the standard of this second half, unfortunately, as Allen plays it short to Spencer, midway inside his own half, out to Tate, right hand side, back into Allen. Allen drives up towards the halfway line and plays it square to Brogio, just inside his own half, touches it back for McCann, further back to Henderson, and back still to Scott Bain at the edge of his own 18. The fourth official, Duncan Nicholson, standing ready with the board. I think it's going to show 4 minutes as Lisa picks up, and again Falkirk don't look to be in any great hurry here. It's still 0-0 as the ball goes back to Bain once more. Now Henderson and Bain again.
They're just running the clock down, really, aren't they? Is the message got on to the players? Just, well, maybe not. There's a forward pass. Thank goodness.
Down that right channel. Well, maybe Falkirk feel that they're better equipped as the 4 minutes are confirmed. Maybe they feel they're better equipped for extra time, feel they're fitter, stronger. But I don't know. Still want to try and win it in 90 as McCann has it on the left hand side, looking for Miller. It's good play though by Chillicor Mullen, belying the fact that he's been out injured and he's still going. Plays it out to the left hand side, just too much on the pass.
That typified the whole game. Right up to a point, it was okay. Then the last bit, the final pass, the last wee bit of quality hasn't been there even in the first half, Val.
He's struggling now. He's gone down. In fact, there's a Falkirk player down as well. I'm not sure if that's just it's certainly cramped for Leon McCann. Chillicor Mullen, after that surge forward, he needs a bit of a stretch off as well, and the referee's going to allow them that. I think the physio's going to come on perhaps for Leon McCann here, and still have about 3 minutes left once we resume again, is the indication from VAR. But yeah, as good as the first half was, as competitive as it was, the second half's been a bit of a letdown, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been poor from both sides. I think it's important to add that I don't think Neil Lennon will be that unhappy with the way the game has panned out, and certainly to get to this stage at 0-0. I think he would take that at the start of the game and maybe going into extra time to go and win it. But Falkirk have been really poor from what I've seen all season, and of what everybody's seen, all the praise they've had, but they've been poor. The first half was interesting, Al. I think you're right in certain ways, and second half there's so many unforced errors throughout the second half.
And you'd like to see the odd shot at goal as well, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
You know, it's a big occasion. It's a huge occasion. The fans have turned out in their numbers to support their team, but it just hasn't been there. The quality hasn't been there. The excitement hasn't been there. No shots on target, basically. So it's been disappointing, but it's been energetic as well. I don't think you can point the finger and say that there hasn't been a lot of effort and energy and desire put into the game. It's just that it's been lacking, and what's required to win games of football, and that's to create opportunities and to take chances.
We're back on the way. We've got 3 minutes now after that restart. It's forward for Wilson. Wilson trying to get the better of Fraser, though, who steps across him and gets it back to Ngwenya. Ngwenya tries to dig out the ball forward. Matty Todd brings it under control. Lisa goes down as if he was caught there by Todd, who's given it straight away to Miller. What was he thinking of there? It's Calvin Miller tries to swing at it, but back came Andy Todd to just stick the foot in, and then Miller barges him to the ground, and it's going to be a free kick, and Lisa is going to get, I'm sure the referee's pulling Lisa towards him. I mean, if you've seen that as play acting, that should be a second yellow card for Lisa. I'm not sure there was any contact here from Matty Todd that forced Lisa to throw himself to the ground, but don't hear anything from VAR. But John Beaton certainly having a word with Philip Lisa. Matty Todd making a point that he didn't touch him, but Andy Todd's making a crucial challenge on Calvin Miller as he threatened to pull the trigger as Matty Todd had given the ball to him. It's all very untidy, really, in the second half, not least in those last minutes, as Dunfermline now come forward. Cooper trying to make pester himself, but Allen does well, wins inside the free kick. And Falkirk have taken it quickly. It's Brogio on the halfway line, coming back the way though. And now Tate looking for a bit of forward movement. Here's Henderson now playing it square for Dylan Tate once more, midway inside his own half. Henderson again taking no chances, just going back to Bain. Bain again closed down by Andy Todd, but gets the ball forward before he can get onto him. Picked up by Wilson, but Fraser steps in. It's out of play for a Falkirk throw-in into the final few seconds of the 90 minutes here. And it's going to be extra time unless there is very, very late drama. Lisa with the throw-in, won by Oakley Booth, flicked on there by Cooper for Andy Todd to chase. Picked up though by McCann on the halfway line, clips it forward, looking for Miller. Miller on the left-hand side. Surely we're into the final knockings of this game. Last chance saloon as McCann scoops it towards the back post. Oxborough looked uncertain there and didn't come for it, but it's swept away from him. And full-time whistle's gone, and it's going to be an extra half hour. And I'm not sure those players out there are desperate for that to happen, having toiled towards the end there. The second half was a pretty poor affair in all truth. Neither side really able to carve out anything clear-cut. The closest we came to a goal in the second half was a Ben Brogio effort from just outside the box that went maybe half a yard or so by the post, but otherwise it was a lot of effort and toil, but precious little in the shape of quality. And so at the end of 90 minutes in the Scottish Cup semi-final, it's Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
Dunfermline Athletic versus Falkirk.
Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. The Scottish Cup lives here.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Both managers on the park now addressing their players. John McGlynn very animated there, telling them what they should be doing. It's an interesting one. Andy Halliday, Tom Inks alongside me in the studio. Neil Lennon there, that sign is just be calm, isn't it? He's got the hands out there, be calm to his players. But you know, it's been such a fantastic season. We're all loving it. There's plenty more to come. It's just a bit disappointing this has panned out so far, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really poor game. Let's be honest here, you know.
Yeah.
It's first half I thought, okay, yeah, sizing each other up. There was bits and pieces that I thought were interesting. Second half was just a snooze fest. Brogio had a chance. I can't think of anything else beyond that. Like, there are goals in both of these teams. You know, like Falkirk scored 3 against Rangers last week, 3 against Motherwell, 5 against Keely on the season, 4 against Hibs. There's goals throughout that Falkirk team. Dunfermline have been scoring lots of goals this season. They're playing. Both of them are playing way below their level. Particularly Falkirk. They're higher up the structure. You'd expect more from Falkirk, but Dunfermline are hanging in there. So they will see this as job done so far. But and Neil Lennon will be really, really happy with that. But I don't think he'd be happy with what he'd be happy it's 0-0 and they're into extra time in the semi-final. But I think he'd be wanting a lot more from his team. Yeah, we heard from Willie at the top of the programme in the first half hour, actually, Andy, talking about how the occasion and sometimes that can affect players. You know, there's so much at stake here today. You know, neither of these sides have won the Scottish Cup for many, many decades. And it does look a bit like that, doesn't it? It's a bit of nervousness about the players.
Well, the reason you could back that argument up is it's been such an open half. So see, when it is as open as it is and there's so much spaces, that's a forwards game. Well, it's a forward's delight to have loads of space and you're attacking 3v2s, 4v3s. But the final ball and the final decision making and quality for Falkirk in particular has been woeful. It's been really, really poor. And that's not something you can associate at all with this Falkirk side all season long. Calvin Miller, Brogio, Barney Stewart, these guys have been outstanding all season. But I think between the three of them, it's probably as poor individually as I've seen them. And like I says, you see some of the spaces that even Dunfermline, meeting Tom, were top on a couple of occasions just before Callum Morrison came off. 2 occasions within the space of 2-3 minutes. He's driving it, Falkirk's back 4, with 2 players either side, and continuously players are just taking the wrong option. And when they do take the right option, it's the wrong execution. So I think there's still spaces there to see not only a goal, but plenty of goals in extra time. There's a lot of tired legs, there's a lot of counter-attacks in this moment in time. But unless the quality improves dramatically, I think I can only see this going one way, and we're seeing a shootout.
Oh, well, at least that's drama. We love a bit of drama on sports. There's been plenty of that this season, so the teams are ready to go again. Just a reminder, we do have championship commentary to come after this 3 o'clock kick-off, Airdrie against Partick Thistle. Our team's there, so we'll get to them as soon as we can. But of course, this is our main event today. Let's hope it catches fire in extra time. So back to Hampden Park, Dunfermline against Falkirk for a place in next month's Scottish Cup final. Back to Willie, Ian and Al.
Thanks again, Kenny. No further changes at the start of extra time, and so it'll be Falkirk to get us back underway. I was thinking if the game continues, the quality of the second half will be as well, going to the championship commentary early, but no, we'll stick with this one, of course. It's a massive game for both sides, and you can understand certainly that the occasion might have got to some. But let's hope that the extra time lives up to the billing of the game. The first half was absolutely fine, no qualms with that, but the second half just lacked real quality.
We maybe just need one special moment, Al.
Could be. We'll take that at the moment. Who will it be for, though, as Dylan Tate buys the free kick midway inside the Dunfermline half. Left-hand side, just a few yards in from the touchline, and Brad Spencer standing over it. Calvin Miller in close proximity as well, as up go Henderson and Lisa to try and make something of this. Brad Spencer then, left-hand side with the free kick, swings it into the penalty area. Can a Falkirk head get it? It's Abdullahi, I think, who gets the first contact on that, and then it's helped forward by first Kearney and then Andy Todd, but Spencer picks up back towards the edge of the penalty area. It's Dylan Tate out to the left to Miller. Little flick by Wilson to no one in particular, and now Dunfermline pick up, and they come forward down the left-hand side. Matty Todd, he slid it through, almost got it through there for Andy Todd, who might have been offside, but I mean, if he wasn't offside, he was in so much room, but a Falkirk body got in the way, and now they're coming forward once more. It's Miller to his left to Wilson, almost at the byline, left-hand side, leaves it to Miller once more. Calvin Miller back out to Wilson on the left, first time ball into the box, another poor one. He's not really impressed since he's come on, Carell Wilson, unfortunately for Falkirk, and Dunfermline can come away on that left-hand side. Back the way to Aston Oxborough, a couple of minutes into extra time here, still no goals. I don't think many people would have come to Hampden this afternoon and expected this to have been goalless. Here's a chance here, it's Carell Wilson drags the shot wide of target. That's another presentable opportunity inside the penalty right hand side of it, but it doesn't again test the goalkeeper, and it's still Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
He's not playing with a lot of confidence, Carell Wilson. Just a minute ago he had 1-on-1 right in the nearly in the 18-yard box, and he chose to pass it. His first touch wasn't good enough there, but he still had time to get a good shot away, and he just pulled on it. You know, he's missed the target by what, 15-20 yards. Just a poor effort at goal.
Dunfermline goal kick then to be taken by Aston Oxborough. Over the halfway line it goes, and out of play it goes before Andy Todd can hook it forward. Falkirk throw in midway inside their own half, quickly taken by Leon McCann. Back to Henderson it goes, and then Connor Allen out to the right hand side for Philip Lisa. Early ball forward looking for Parkinson, who's not been able to get into the game either. He's lost out to Nguenia as Dunfermline pick up left hand side. Fraser here, just inside his own half, back in field to Abdullahi. Up to the halfway line it goes, Cooper. Was a slip there from Kearney, and it allows Dylan Tate in. They're 3-on-2 here. It's Dylan Tate, can he pick the right pass? Oh, he can't. He can't get it beyond Nguenia. Nguenia's lost it on the edge of the box. It's Wilson, turns back inside and then lays it back the way. Falkirk still in possession. Can someone take the initiative here? It's Spencer back out to the left to Parkinson. He sends it into the middle. There's no Falkirk players there, and Dunfermline survive what was a really big moment. Dylan Tate, though, if you wanted anyone there to pick the pass, you'd have wanted it to be him, but he couldn't get it beyond Nguenia to his right hand side, and the chance is gone, and it's still Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
Yeah, I mean that kind of is an example that sums up the game, doesn't it? With Tate, you know, having a big opportunity and two options, one to the right, one to the left. They can't find either.
He could have gone himself as well. He could have hit it from the edge of the box.
I think that was key to it. That's why he delayed the pass, because I thought it opened up so well. It was right through his head to go and shoot, and then he just chose to pass at the last minute and didn't execute.
Fair play to Ngwenya to make the interception. Falkirk have got themselves a corner though, with almost 5 minutes of extra time played. No goals as yet. As Calvin Miller prepares to take from the right hand side, it'll be the in-swinger with the left foot, swings it to the back post. Henderson's there, doesn't get anything on it, and it's Chilicoa Mullen who's able to just get enough on it to direct it back into the arms of Aston Oxborough. And
he's trying to clear it, he's not trying to direct it back to his goalkeeper, I can assure you of that. I think he goes with one leg and it hits the other leg. You know, goes with his left, I think it comes off his right, and it falls into the keeper's arms, and he certainly did not mean that, that's for sure.
Yellow card there for Dylan Tate as they begin to mount up on either side. Challenge in the middle of the park, and the free kick again will have to be taken once more, as Charlie Gilmore prepares to do just that, right on the halfway line. Former Inverness Cali Thistle man here, he's had a good season at the heart of that midfield for Neil Lennon's side. He is firing out to the left. An untidy attempt to challenge for the ball there by Lisa, but it's gone straight out of play in the end. And it's a throw into Falkirk over on that far side. Still waiting for that moment of quality we've been crying out for. It might yet prove to bring the match-winning moment. Spencer picks up midway inside his own half, just to his left to Henderson. Henderson, low ball into Parkinson, who's pulled back there. Free kick given, quickly taken. Spencer out to his left-hand side to McCann. McCann just touches it back the way to Tate. Tate clips it down the left for the run here. Parkinson should be able to bring that under control. Under pressure here though from Abdullahi, plays it off him. Well, that should be a Dunfermline ball, I think, but the referee's pointed in Falkirk's direction.
John Beaton staring at it, he's only 10 yards away. It was
looked like Abdullahi played it off Parkinson, but the referee didn't see it that way, and the assistant wasn't in a position to give him any help really, as Chilicoa Mullen again does good defensive work and gets it clear up to the halfway line. Henderson nods it down to Lisa, central area here, driving Falkirk forward. Not quite sure where to go though, but he's spun away from Matty Todd there out on the left hand side. Now he plays it into Brosio, the edge of the box. He's wriggled through a couple of challenges, tries to get the shot in, blocked by Ngwenya. Falkirk corner, better play though from Brosio, just couldn't quite find the way to go, but we'll have another corner kick.
Really good skill though, really good feet in a tight area, and you know, it was good to watch as well, and he was just unlucky at the end there, good defending.
So another corner on the right hand side for Falkirk, as Dunfermline I think are considering another change here midway through extra time, the first half of it at least. There's a tumble inside the box there from Liam Henderson, who's claiming he was impeded. It comes all the way over to this near side. Falkirk still have it. Spencer sends it back into the area, headed away by Ngwenya. VAR took a look at that little incident there with Liam Henderson and saw nothing amiss, so play continues as Allen plays it out to the right hand side for Lisa. Lisa up against Matty Todd here, and slips it down the right hand side for Tate, but Ngwenya again steps across. Dunfermline back three have all played pretty well, haven't they? They've all been pretty strong and steadfast throughout.
Yeah, but I mean, particularly the captain. I think all three have been terrific, but the captain, you know, to last as long as this after looking a little bit dodgy even at half time, he's done ever so well, really well.
Here's Parkinson out to the left for Calvin Miller, as and Lucas Fife's going to come on for Dunfermline, try and make himself a hero. Miller plays it off Kearney, and it's going to be a Falkirk corner, this time on the left hand side. Don't think they'll make the change just yet. He started and scored the late equaliser against Airdrie on Tuesday, his first goal for the club in his first league start, Lucas Fife. And he's going to get an opportunity here, the 17-year-old, but Dunfermline have got to defend this corner firstly. 9 minutes into extra time. Calvin Miller on the left, sends it into the back post area. Henderson climbing, comes out to Spencer, is blocked, spinning at the edge of the 6-yard box was Parkinson, but he just couldn't find a way to get the shot off, and it comes out for a throw-in on this near side. But Dunfermline want to make the change now, and it's going to be Matty Todd to come off here. I'm quite surprised at that, unless he's picked up a knock or something. I thought he'd still been one of their more dangerous players, but on will come 17-year-old Lucas Fife. It's a big moment for him.
It's a great moment for him, isn't it? You know, go and make a name for yourself, do something in the game that can help your side actually break this deadlock and get yourself into a final. And by the way, no manager will be bothered the quality of the game if at the end of the game they're in the final.
That's for sure. Falkirk throwing then, just at the corner flag left hand side. McCann with the long one. Chillico Mullen meets it only as far as Tate, who can't make much of it. And again Chillico Mullen knocks it clear. Picked up though on the right hand side by Lisa. Back in field to Spencer, midway inside the Dunfermline half. The sun's out at Hampden now. Still a little bit chilly here. Spring has forgotten to make its way to Scotland, it appears, so far this year. As the ball's played out to the left hand side to McCann. McCann forward for Miller. Miller on the left flank, touches it back to Liam McCann. Back in field to Dylan Tate, still looking to get on the ball as much as possible and find the searching passes. Here he is, out to the left hand side looking for Miller. Miller almost at the byline, tries the early ball in, comes off Kearney for another Falkirk corner. They're mounting up as they're about to make a double change here. Looks like Ethan Ross and Henry Cartwright are going to come on. They're going to make the changes unusually before the corner. I suppose if it's an attacking corner it's different when you're defending a corner. And off is going to come Dylan Tate, and he'll be replaced in the middle of the park by Henry Cartwright. And it's Calvin Miller is the other player to make way for Ethan Ross. There's a straight swap on the left hand side, but Ethan Ross will now take up that mantle, and is he the man to unlock this stubborn Dunfermline defence? He's certainly the man to take over corner kick duties on the left hand side. Plays it short to Brogio. Brogio then back for McCann. McCann sweeps it into the back post. Oxborough comes, doesn't collect, but fortunately for him it falls to Fraser, who sweeps it clear. It was uncertain goalkeeping there from Oxborough under a bit of pressure as Falkirk come again. They've been probably the dominant side in extra time, but yet to really test Oxborough. Here's McCann once more, left hand side, advances to the edge of the box, then tries to play it in. Abdullahi gets the clearance though, and Andy Todd will pick up right hand side, plays it off Cartwright for a throw into Dunfermline. 12.5 minutes played in extra time, and it remains Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
It does, and it's a real struggle for Dunfermline just now, isn't it? They look as though they've lost all their energy. They're basically just camped in their own defensive third in the game, and struggling. No target up front, no energy in the midfield, no one to drive forward, no ball carriers, and it's been really difficult this first half of extra time for them, and they just don't look as though they can get in and cause Falkirk any issue, whereas Falkirk get plenty of the ball. They're dominating the ball, dominating the game, controlling the game, but still lacking that quality.
Falkirk have it, right hand side. Lisa forced to rush, gets it forward though. Parkinson's on the move, but Oxborough there ahead of him, just rushes out of his box to clear it. Turned into a pretty good ball there from Lisa, but Parkinson just unable to latch on to it. Just over a minute remaining in first half extra time. Still no goals in this Scottish Cup semi-final.
Just with all the set plays and corners Falkirk getting, I'm very, very surprised Brian Graham or Ross McIver haven't come on.
Yeah,
who are both, McIver's absolutely outstanding in there, and obviously Brian in the box can snuff a goal out, you know.
Brogio under pressure, under too much pressure, for John Beaton's liking from Charlie Gilmour, and the free kick goes Falkirk's way, just a few yards inside the Dunfermline half. We're into the last of the first 15 minutes of extra time as McCann has it, just nudges it back to Spencer, about 15 yards inside Dunfermline territory, out to Ross. Good first touch, then a poor second one to take him in field, and runs into Kearney, who then brings the ball forward. Dunfermline have got a couple of bodies forward, probably need a few more options. It's out to Andy Todd now on that right hand side. Lisa in the way of his attempted pass, but Gilmour will pick up. Now it's Oakley Booth out to Shea Kearney here, right hand side, slips it forward for Oakley Booth, right at the penalty. It's a good ball right across goal, no takers. Massive chance for Dunfermline, and sliding in at the edge of the 6 yard box, I think was Andy Todd, trying to get on the end of it. He just couldn't stretch enough to get that crucial touch that would have given his side the opening goal. But that is as close as Dunfermline have come, more or less, since the opening minutes to opening the scoring.
Just out of nowhere. But what a great ball it was there, isn't it? Now, brilliant ball across, you know, at the back post.
The player, bodies,
whoever the player is at the back post, got to gambling in that. He's got to tap in.
I think as well as Andy Todd at the near post, was the youngster who's just come on, Lucas Fife, who's also on the stretch, but just couldn't reach it either. But yeah, fabulous ball in, just begging to be knocked into the net, but it wasn't to be. And so just coming towards the end of the 1 minute of stoppage time in this start of extra time. Spencer out to the right looking for Carell Wilson, knocked out of play though via Falkirk throw-in, but they won't have time for that because the half-time whistle goes. Uneventful until that big Dunfermline chance just on the stroke of half-time, but they just couldn't convert, and so it remains with just 15 minutes left to play. Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
People want to count that.
Yeah, it's still honours even there at the National Stadium. Myself and Tom English and Andy Halliday in the studio here. The players just walking off to get more instructions from their manager. We saw very passionate interactions earlier on between John McGlynn and his players, and Neil Lennon and his players, and John McGlynn. They're suited and booted, speaking to his players right now, trying to get the message across. Can we get a match winner, or is this one, Tom English, going all the way?
I'd be amazed if it doesn't go all the way to penalties. Look, there's some crosses going in and suggestion of a goal being scored, but it's just neither of them have the accuracy in their game up to now to score a goal, which is amazing, considering they do score goals, both of these teams. They're both, I mean, it's a hard watch.
Yeah.
Occasionally you'll get a little glimmer of hope, and then someone will make a bad decision when they've got multiple decisions to make, and then they'll take their time to make it, and then they'll make the wrong one. And it's tough. It's nervous now. And I can only see it getting more nervy and tighter in the second half of it.
At least you're warm in the studio, Tom, eh?
I've had to take off my jumper, really. It's a little bit too. Could do with a fan in here.
I mean,
are you nice and cold there, Willie?
It's rather chilly. Yeah.
Well.
I mean, Willie, what do you put this down to? Is it the nerves? I was asking Andy, being the park seems bigger when you're on it, and we're trying to work out, is that because the stands are further away? I'm not sure. They look a bit leggy, the players, to me.
I think they are leggy now, particularly Dunfermline have looked leggy towards the end of normal time, and certainly into the first half of time added on. Listen, it can have that effect on you, Kenny, if you're not used to playing here in the stadium, the atmosphere and the expectations as well. Perhaps Falkirk more than Dunfermline being the favourites, you know, and everybody expects them to play the style of football, the slick passing football, creating opportunities, and as Tom says, scoring goals. You know, but Dunfermline are capable of scoring goals, but the pitch looks as though it's taking it out of them. It's in perfect condition, absolutely. But I think the kind of yards that they have to travel is telling, or taking its toll, and they've been basically camped the first. Apart from that breakaway and a really big chance for them, apart from that, they've been pegged back, and it's just been about defending.
The teams are back. I'm sure it's the same for you guys here in the gantry, but in the studio here, the amount of times we've had head in hands or hands in the air, but the players, talented players, have made the wrong option. Let's hope that improves. So the second half of extra time about underway. If there is no winner, we are heading to penalties to decide who takes their place in next month's Scottish Cup final. Let's get back to Willie, Ian and Al.
Yeah, thanks once again, Kenny. Almost ready to start the second half of extra time here. Looks like Chris Hamilton's waiting to come on here for Dunfermline. Yeah, he's replacing Chilicoa Mullen for the second half of extra time. He's taken the armband, Hamilton. So Chilicoa Mullen's lasted really well, considering he's been out and was a doubt for this game. Also on for the start of the second half of extra time is Brian Graham in place of Brosio. Ian, you said to me last week that you feel that Brian Graham has got a big goal in him in the remainder of this season. Well, you wouldn't put it past him getting it today.
Well, listen, the game's so stretched, it'll suit him. So, yeah, I mean, he's capable of big moments. And, you know, he's had such a good career, there might be just a wee kind of full stop here, or certainly a comma.
He played in the Scottish Cup final back in 2014. He came on for Dundee United when they lost out to St Johnstone. They were looking for a happier ending to this one. As Dunfermline, though, making the early running in the second half here. Trying to create something here. Still goalless. It's swung in from the right-hand side. But all the way out on this near side for a Falkirk throw-in, midway inside their own half. But certainly penalties looking more and more likely as Lisa prepares to take the throw in here. Goes back the way to Conor Allen. The wind getting back up here at Hampden, blowing various bits of detritus across the pitch as Spencer has it on the halfway line. Now McCann forward, looking for the run of Ethan Ross. Across though goes Abdullah. He's been terrific at the heart of the defence. Runs it out of play though over on the far side. Ross looking to take a quick throw in. In the end, he's just going to leave it actually for McCann to take. Extra responsibility now, I suppose, on Abdullah that Chilicoa Mullen's gone off. Here's Cartwright, plays it square to Lisa, midway inside the Dunfermline half. Closely marshalled there, gets out to the right hand side to Carell Wilson. Little spin away, trying to lose Fraser. Back comes Cooper. Carell Wilson just batters it off Robbie Fraser and wins inside the throw in. Lisa will take it from a good 20 yards back from where it went out, but that seems to be okay. And then Allen knocks it back to Bain. Just pulled up there after playing that ball back to Scott Bain. He's just limping slightly as it finds its way out to Ethan Ross, left hand side. Ross with the early ball in. The header from Carell Wilson, miles wide. Oh, he's got to do better again. It's a good ball early in from Ethan Ross, and he just stooped there and tried to angle it into the bottom corner, but got too little on the header, Carell Wilson, and it's well wide of goal. 17.5 minutes played of extra time. Still Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
Best chance of the game for me. He's got to score. It's an absolute sitter. Just let it hit off his head.
Just the blunt forehead, isn't it? I mean, anywhere in between the sticks, and you think it's got to be, and it just seems to slide off his head. It goes nowhere near the goal.
He's tried to be too precise, isn't he? He's tried to find the bottom corner, whereas you guys are saying just almost any solid connection that takes it on target, probably with the pace on it, would really give the goalkeeper a tough save to make. At the other end, it's Cooper. It's a chance here, and it's straight at Bain. Oh, that was a massive opportunity. And it fell to the young man Lucas Fife, who got the better there of Conor Allen, but the side foot finish was straight at Bain. Well, that was the moment his eyes must have lit up, that he could have made himself a Dunfermline hero forever. Well, it's straight at Bain, unfortunately, still 0-0.
Yep, you write your name in history with that one, don't you, for the youngster. And he does so well to actually win the physical challenge, and no right to win it. And then you think his idea's right. He opens up his body, he tries to put it, beyond Bain with his right foot into the far corner. He just doesn't get enough on it. Not enough power either. Puts his hands in his head afterwards and knows that could have been a historic moment for him.
Certainly could. Another change coming for Falkirk. It's Connor Allen, who, as I mentioned a minute ago, seemed to pull up after making a pass, and also he was caught there by Fife. And Lewis Nielsen's going to come on, a more than able replacement at the back for Falkirk then, for the pretty much the final 10 minutes. Connor Allen certainly limping away there. He's obviously just hurt himself as Gwenya takes the free kick up towards the edge of the penalty. It comes back to Oakley Booth, challenged, and Falkirk thought they were away there, and they'll have to take this free kick again. Oakley Booth being given a yellow card. He grabbed the ball when he was on the ground, and it's a caution for a handball.
Yeah, listen, I think what Andy Halliday said when we went back to the studio, that in the extra time there has been chances because the game's got so long, so stretched. It's whether the ability and the wherewithal to actually put them in the net. They haven't been able to do that yet, but there's been 2 or 3 really good chances in extra time.
The ball's back with Ashton Oxborough inside the Dunfermline penalty area. Just under 10 to play. Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0. Shootout on the horizon. Falkirk came through the shootout against Hearts. Dunfermline inside the penalty, there's a big chance, and this time it's Fife is off the bar, so close. The young man has had 2 massive opportunities. Still it's not entirely clear, and now Wilson will pick up at Falkirk with a massive let off there. Wilson's run into trouble. Fife picks up once more, gets it back on the edge. Now he's gone for goal, and he's sliced that well off target, but my goodness, he could have written his name in the history books this afternoon. First of all, passing the ball straight to Scott Bain on the first attempt, and then crashing it off the crossbar there a moment ago as it opened up for him, and it's still somehow Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
Oh, he can't believe it. I mean, he actually does so well to young Fife, doesn't he, as Todd cuts it back to him. It's not the easiest chance. I don't think Bain got a touch on it. We're just watching a replay here, but he takes it so well with the right foot, just too high. Bain doesn't touch it. Comes off the underside of the bar.
Oh, it's a matter of a centimetre or two too high with that, isn't it? Just the underside of the bar, as you say, Willie, and away to safety in the end. Dunfermline come again down the right hand side. Too much in the cross there though from Todd. It'll be picked up by Fraser. Fraser left hand side, can't find a teammate, only to Lisa inside his own penalty area, up towards Brian Graham, who wins the header and will chase his own flick on. Falkirk got no one else up there with him at the moment. And it's all the way through to Oxford. 8 minutes remaining. Dunfermline have come closest in extra time to winning it as Ross picks up. And he's bundled to the ground, and that'll be a free kick. 15 yards inside the Falkirk half. Chris Hamilton there with the foul. But well, as the guys have been saying, there have been chances, and neither side has been able to take any as yet. Just over 7 minutes left to try and do so, as Ethan Ross now runs at Shea Kearney over on that far side. The Falkirk left has to turn back the way, finds Spencer into the area, knocked down. Ethan Ross with a shot, palmed away by Oxborough, behind for a corner. He was on target, didn't have a great deal of venom in it, but Oxborough couldn't hold on to it. Falkirk corner.
Yeah, it's good play, lovely little layoff by Brian Graham, good movement. That's a good save. I thought he'd have been a bit more comfortable than that, but it must have been right in the corner. I think that the young lad Fife does well. I think he's got to score though. I mean, I think he's got to put the ball in the net there.
Yeah, it's an unforgiving arena, isn't it? Only 17, but nonetheless, there are big chances. Ross's corner's met by Graham at the near post. We've seen him score plenty of those over the years, but that one flashes wide of the post, and it's still with 6.5 to play. Falkirk 0, Dunfermline 0.
Well, it's certainly brightened up, isn't it? Both in the skies and on the field of play. We've been entertained in the final 15 minutes of this game, that's for sure. Chances created and chances missed. Good effort though from the youngster. Can't be easy for him. What is he, 17-year-old?
Yeah. Only a handful of games played up till now. This is 8th of the season. He was on loan at Bowness at the early part of the season, so this is quite the leap he's made up to be playing on this, the biggest stage of all in Scottish football, the National Stadium. in a cup semi-final, and he could have been the hero, and he might yet prove to be. You never know. He got himself in good positions on both occasions, just failing to find the finish required as Bain rolls it out to Cartwright. Cartwright in the middle of his own half, closed down though, and he's lost it. And it is Fife picking up, and he's brought to the ground, and that'll be Cartwright in the book as well, you'd imagine. Yeah, just dwelling on the ball for too long in the middle of the park there, Henry Cartwright.
I tell you, although Falkirk have dominated quite a lot of the game, possession of the ball, etc., Dunfermline have had the best chances. I think they've had 3 or 4 really, really good chances.
You would probably put the Carell Wilson one a few minutes ago in the similar bracket, but yeah absolutely, Dunfermline have had good ones for sure. And they've got a free kick here, right in the middle of the pitch, midway inside the Falkirk half. As Cooper now will clip this into the penalty area towards the back post. Gilmore will rise, but he's beaten to it by Henderson. Henderson then goes and chases it and launches it long down the field. An important header there to prevent Ethan Ross latching onto it. Now it's Parkinson. Good challenge by Ngwenya. Oh, he's been... I thought he took the ball there, I have to say, but it's a foul and a free kick and a yellow card for Ngwenya as well. But he's hard done by there.
Looked like he got the ball. I mean, the ball changed direction. The ball doesn't go there naturally. Ngwenya makes the challenge from the side. He kind of hooks his leg round it. The ball goes in the other direction. Can't agree with the referee's decision there.
But it is a Falkirk free kick with 4 minutes to play. Just inside the Dunfermline half. Brad Spencer over it. Is it to be late drama unfolding at the National Stadium? Ngwenya wins the header, and Dunfermline try and get it forward. Fraser, Andy Todd seemed to handle that there, but Cartwright can't hold on to it. Gilmore picks up for Dunfermline, feeds it down the left hand side. Andy Todd somehow is still chasing things, and it's slashed out the play by Scott Bain.
He's willing, isn't he, Andy Todd? I mean,
sure is.
Non-stop. He's embraced some different positions that he's been asked to play by his manager as well, when he's more comfortable through the middle, and he still looks as though he's got plenty of fuel in the tank.
Here's Fraser, knocks it out of play though.
He's been terrific today though, Fraser. Great energy as well, the left back of Dunfermline, getting up and down the pitch.
Falkirk have it at the back. See Charlie Gilmore limping a little bit. He was stretching off his left hamstring a moment ago with the effects of cramp taking their toll in these closing stages. Ethan Ross runs into Chris Hamilton with the free kicks given, and Falkirk get the free kick on the halfway line. Not going to be too many more chances in this game. Can either side create one of significant and sufficient quality to win it without the need for penalties? Lisa for Wilson. One of these sides in the next few minutes is going to be triumphant, the other despondent. Which way are the chips going to fall? Lisa gets his side a throw in on this right hand side, goes back the way to Wilson. Wilson was in a couple of really good opportunities, sent it into the area, away by Ngwenya. Back again forward by Lewis Nielsen. Dunfermline clear their lines, across comes Henderson, just knocks it out of play. Couple of minutes left of extra time. Bobby Fraser to take this throw in down the near side. It's anyone's guess as to how this one is going to end. Fraser down the line, Lisa returns it. Hamilton though helps it forward once more for Dunfermline, up towards the edge of the Falkirk penalty. It'll be picked up by Oakley Booth, and then Ross was fouled by Oakley Booth. He's been booked. I don't think the referee would be wanting to show second yellows at this stage of the contest.
I mean, I'm not saying John Beaton hasn't had a decent game. He might have got a few things right, but it's been so bitty, and it hasn't helped with him just blowing his whistle constantly. I mean, sometimes you've got to, of course, it's a foul, but other times, even when you're taking a free kick from a yard where it shouldn't be taken from, let the game go.
Falkirk carve it. Lewis Nielsen, good ball out to the left hand side for Ethan Ross. Into the final minute of the 30 and extra time. Infield to Brad Spencer. Clips it forward for Ethan Ross. Ross now trying to find Brian Graham. Comes out to the right hand side instead to Wilson via Dunfermline deflection. Now back with Lisa. Low ball in. Swept away by Nguyen, who has been a rock at the back of the Dunfermline defence. Dunfermline now trying to get themselves forward, but in steps Spencer. McCann under pressure. He gets it back to Scott Bain. The seconds remaining as Scott Bain, the Troy Furr on the edge of his own penalty under pressure from Andy Todd. My goodness, a few Falkirk hearts and mouths there, no doubt, as McCann's down with cramp now. As Falkirk try and come forward once more, it's Wilson back to Spencer on the halfway line. 1 minute added on, that's what we're into now. Parkinson gets his head to Cartwright, goes down. Is that a penalty? It's a booking, and that's a red, isn't it? Cartwright's already been shown a yellow. It's a red card for Henry Cartwright for diving, looking for a penalty inside the last minute at Hampden Park, and Cartwright goes down, throws himself to the ground, and the referee spots it as simulation and shows him a second yellow. And Falkirk down to 10. It won't really matter in the grand scheme of things as we head for a penalty shootout, surely. But Cartwright, why oh why does he throw himself to the ground there? Because he's in a decent position inside the box.
Well, the only thing I'm thinking is, unless, it's bad for Falkirk if he was one of the nominated penalty takers, but I mean, I didn't need to see a replay there. I mean, we're seeing one, but it didn't look as if he anywhere near touched, and he's thrown himself to the ground. I don't think he had to go down.
I think he's overhit it though, is he not? He did not hit it too far ahead of himself and then decided just to go down.
It's full time. We are heading for penalties. Just looking at a replay of the Cartwright dive. Absolutely correct decision from John Beaton. And now it is going to be the drama and the nerves and the tension of a penalty shootout to decide whether Dunfermline or Falkirk progress to the Scottish Cup final after a stalemate here over 120 minutes. No goals. Extra time certainly lifted chances there, particularly for 17-year-old Lucas Fife. A couple of chances for Dunfermline. The first of those straight at Scott Bain. The second crashing off the underside of the crossbar to deny the 17-year-old his moment of glory. And Carrier Wilson with the best Falkirk chance in extra time, but he headed well off target from a good position. And so now, well, how's your nerve as we head for spot kicks? It finishes after 120 minutes. Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0.
Football from Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
Yeah, real drama now at the National Stadium. The stakes are huge. Dunfermline against Falkirk for a place in next month's Scottish Cup final, where of course they'll face St Mirren or Celtic. They play tomorrow. Full coverage of course right here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Andy Halliday and Tom Miggs alongside me in the studio. We've seen the young boy Lucas Fife. Andy, I know you feel for him, don't you?
Honestly, I'm absolutely devastated for him. One thing I will say is though, I thought he got himself into brilliant positions. I thought he looked the most threatening player on the pitch over the case of 120 minutes, but specifically that second one. The first one's a great chance, but he fashions it on his own. But the second one, we're seeing it now. We're seeing them now, Andy. Yeah, so the first one, I mean, he turns a chance into nothing. It's just a long ball. He does ever so well to work on his right foot, and he doesn't quite catch it. And Scott Bain makes the save, but it's the second one. It's laid on a plate for him about 8 yards out. All he's got to do is just hit the target, and he feels as if it's going to be a goal, but just doesn't quite get it right. Almost gets too much purchase, too much power on it, and just crashes off the underside of the bar. And for a 17-year-old only just turned 17, it's a remarkable occasion for him to be
slightly
put in the
behind
game.
him.
Yeah, ever so slightly, but I think he'll certainly be disappointed he's not scored it.
Yeah, I mean, we're just saying he looks a bit distraught, and his teammates are right round him, Tom.
Yeah, which was great to see, and you'd expect. I mean, they were all around him, kind of consoling him. He looks like he's in another world there, doesn't he? Yeah. I mean, the camera's right in on him now. Poor lad. I mean, he's done great for both moments to get into that position. And I'm not sure. Would you give him a penalty? I don't know if it was.
Well, I was just about to say, Tom, we're complete neutrals in this studio here, but I just hope he scores his penalty.
We were saying that. We were saying that.
You're right.
If they give him a penalty, please let him score it, because he'll be feeling terrible about this. And 17, just turned 17, and he's a kid, like, you know.
What a story. Would your hand be up, Andy, for a penalty?
If I was him, I think I'd be hiding in the back of the group. No, listen, I'm sure he's got loads of confidence. It was brilliant to see that he scored a goal, obviously, during the week to equalise with a couple of minutes to go. And he's been given a brilliant opportunity by Neil Lennon. It's a brave call to put the young man in. And listen, he showed why it's the correct substitution, because you got yourself in dangerous areas.
Absolutely, did very well.
Fashioned a couple of opportunities, but ultimately, like the game in general, just didn't get the execution right. Back to you, Al.
Thanks, Kenny. The penalties are going to be taken at the Falkirk end, if you like. Certainly the end where their supporters are mainly gathered. So I think I saw Robbie Fraser kind of limping away into the technical area. So he's going to drop out of contention for a penalty, with Falkirk also down to 10. And it's the Falkirk captain, Brad Spencer, who's got the ball tucked under his arm and is walking up towards that penalty spot to take the first spot kick of the afternoon. And a massive few moments coming up. And Brad Spencer with the responsibility as Aston Oxborough just puts his glove bag behind the goal before taking his place on the line. Scott Bain, the Falkirk keeper, crouched away to the right hand side as Spencer prepares to step up off the crossbar, off the stanchion almost, as Spencer misses the first spot kick. And still we don't have a goal here at Hampden.
It makes this one absolutely crucial. Who is that, Al, going up? Was it
Cooper?
Cooper. I mean, this is a crucial one. If the opposition misses, you've got to score the next one. Got to score the next one.
Yeah, Brad Spencer, the captain, hitting looks like the junction of the upright and the bar. And now it's going to be young Josh Cooper up against Scott Bain. Scores! Terrific penalty. High into the top corner. Bain dived to his left, which is the correct way, but Cooper's penalty had too much precision.
Unstoppable, just perfect. And Spencer, almost perfect, but not good enough. But the Cooper penalty, wow, power, precision, top right hand corner, fabulous strike.
Now Liam Henderson has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. The left-footed defender had such a brilliant season for Falkirk. Can he continue that here? Saved! Dunfermline in the driving seat in this penalty shootout. Falkirk missed their first two. Brilliant stop that from Oxborough, you'd have to say.
It was a great stop, but it was a poor penalty. I mean, it's a yard from the post. Liam Henderson obviously had a fantastic season. You know, maybe the 90, 100 odd minutes has maybe been gotten really tired, and it was a poor penalty.
Charlie Gilmore up next for Dunfermline. Scott Bain will be hoping he can produce something here to keep his side in it, but Charlie Gilmore can really put Dunfermline in the driving seat if he can score, which he does, sending Bain the wrong way, and it's 2-0 Dunfermline in the shootout.
Yeah, it's low, isn't it, this time? It's right foot. There's plenty power in it. It's not in the corner, but with Scott Bain going the wrong way, then it certainly nestles well in to give Dunfermline that second penalty.
That's Ben Parkinson now coming up to take the next Falkirk penalty. He scored the winning penalty against Hearts, having scored in the game itself. It's absolutely crucial for Falkirk that he scores this one. Otherwise, they are facing a Scottish Cup exit. It's Parkinson against Oxborough. Seos clipped in under the body of Oxborough. It looked like it was going to be another save, but somehow it's under the body of the goalkeeper, and Falkirk have a lifeline.
I think the crowd, honestly, the Dunfermline end thought it was a save like 5 seconds after it went to the back of the net. I mean, I thought it was a save. He should have saved it.
It trickled over the line in the end. And now Chris Hamilton to restore Dunfermline's 2-goal advantage with the armband on. It's Chris Hamilton stepping up. Great penalty right down the middle. Plenty of power. Bain dives to his right, and Dunfermline lead by 3-1.
That's a one. Just get your head over it. Just get the laces right through it and drill it. down the middle and hope the goalkeeper goes one way or the other, and Bain goes to his right hand side and Hamilton blasts it into the back of the net.
Lisa is the next to take Falkirk's spot kick, and if he misses, it's all over. So major responsibility on the shoulders here of Philip Lisa. He steps up right-footed and rolls it into the bottom corner. Cool as you like, to be fair. So 3-2 now to Dunfermline, but Falkirk have taken one extra.
Yeah, it was a really comfortable penalty there. He's been good throughout the game, actually. Not to his usual standards, I don't think, but still pretty effective in the game. It was a great penalty.
Tashin Oakley-Booth, the substitute, is the next to step up here for Dunfermline. They lead by 3-2. This is their fourth penalty. Oakley-Booth against Bain. This to win it for Dunfermline. Tashin Oakley-Booth scores! Dunfermline back in the Scottish Cup final. Falkirk desolate and disconsolate, but Dunfermline absolutely jubilant as they get the better of their Premiership rivals, their bitter rivals from across the Forth. What a moment for Neil Lennon and his side. 4 superb penalties from the Championship men, and you cannot say they don't deserve to progress every bit. As good as Falkirk on the day, and they simply were cooler from the spot. Aston Oxborough and the woodwork both denying Falkirk from their opening penalties for Spencer and Henderson, and that has proved crucial as Dunfermline get back to the Scottish Cup final to face either St Mirren or Celtic in the 2026 Scottish Cup final. A return after so long away, last in the final in 2007 when they lost to Celtic. Is there to be a repeat of that final? Neil Lennon played for Celtic as they beat Dunfermline on that occasion. This time he'll be leading Dunfermline out one way or the other. What a glorious season it could yet be for Dunfermline, with the Premiership still in their sights as well. But they emerged victorious after 120 minutes of a stalemate, but eventually deciding it on penalties by 4-2. It is Dunfermline who progress. Incredible stuff.